There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Dark Times with Dark Match Steve. How are we doing? What is up? If you're not familiar with the program, if you're new around here, Dark Times with Dark Match Steve. Basically, see, I'm Dark Match Steve. I'm a little twink. And normally what we do is I clickbait you with some title and a thumbnail. And then I get on here and I twerk and do prostate milkings. And, I'm here to serve. I'm just here to pleasure you in whatever ways you can imagine. And basically that's it. By the time you leave this stream, you will be drained in some fashion. It looks like I'm sitting right now, but I'm actually on my knees for you. So stick around. It's going to get sticky with Mickey. All right, tonight, what are we doing, guys? What's going on? Let me read the title because I don't remember. Ale Stein, Best Debate Performances. Yes, I've been waiting to do this one. There's one debate that I've had in mind that I know there's some funny parts from. And then he's also got a new college debate, some college campus debate. I think it's a brand new one. We'll click on it if it's one, because we did watch one where he's pretending to be Charlie Kirk. That shit was really funny. But I think he has a new one. I have no idea which university he went to, but anyway, I think he's kind of making the rounds, and he's doing the stand-up, speak up stuff. I think that's officially what his debate title is: stand up, speak up. And if I remember correctly, he actually got the title idea from his good friend, Bubba the Love Sponge. His good friend, my mentor, Bubba the Love Sponge. We're going to get to all that. It's going to be a fun time. I told you guys we had some fun streams planned for this week. This is going to be one of them. And I know there's some people like Holyoke Joe who's going to try to come in here and stir shit and be like, oh, yeah, whose content are we playing tonight, you fucking hack? Well, good point, okay? But this, the debate I'm going to show you guys isn't something new that I'm trying to steal clicks from Ale Stein or something. This is an old debate that is on the Modern Day Debate channel. And you guys know my regular lovers in this chat. You guys know that I do enjoy Modern Day Debate, the channel, and I try to catch a lot of those because it's a great channel, and you never know when there's some debate you'll be like, oh, I've heard people talk about this bullshit, but then you fucking listen to a new debate and you actually find a new information or new arguments about something. And so, yeah, I keep up with the Modern Day Debate channel. But one of the debates is going to be from there, and then his new, at least that one, and we'll get to some of his new college debate. But I don't think we're going to watch all of that because maybe we'll do like half or a quarter or something because it is new, and I want, people that might come across this video, you stumbled onto this and haven't seen Alex's newest debate yet, then you'll go click on it somewhere else if I don't spoon feed you the whole fucking thing here. So yeah, there's that. Let me get to the chat and then we'll get started. The Fat Pig. What's up, lover? Thanks for joining us again, Fat Pig. I don't know. You said you weren't mad or whatever, and we don't have to talk about it publicly here, but I thought you was mad at me. First thumbing. God bless DMS. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. God bless the Fat Pig. I'm glad you're back, sir. Fucking hysteric Eric. What's up? Donald Ferguson up in here. Caught that UT debate. Unusually kind and graceful. Proud of 99. What? That's the new one? University of Texas? Is that it, I guess? Natural Aspired's up in here. Ready to shame short people. What's up, sir? Thanks for joining us. He thinks Dr. Dan is 5'8", and that is a fucking lie. Okay, Michael Earl's up in here. What? Sethi was viciously attacking people on the chat on the Blizzard pod. So what, were you guys watching it live? Hysteric Eric, I'm assuming that's through the Bubba Army HQ website, because it's everywhere else is pre-recorded, right? You can't watch it live except for am I mistaken? Or do they host that on the regular channel? I don't fucking know. Bob Cook's up in here. What's up? What's up? Good evening, Bob Cook. Stacy's here. Thank you guys for hanging. Rainy's up in here. Let's go. DMS Brian on the laughs tonight. Yeah, let's do it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna watch some Ale Stein stuff. You guys probably have not seen this debate, so don't click away thinking, oh yeah, we've seen all of Alex's new stuff. Bubba had him on yesterday or whenever, and they played this or that. Just stick around, guys. I can almost guarantee you're gonna have fun. Fucking FaZe Cops is up in here. Adam over on the Twitter. What's up, lovers? I'm rock hard. Thank you. DMS has skinny hips. I do. I'm a size 30. I get 31 and 32 waist jeans often because I do like somewhat of like a looser fit. Like I like I don't like skinny jeans, but I do like the slim fit look. But then I don't like, and again, guys, we know I've talked about it. I'm not the most well-endowed person. I mean, I'm a little bit above average, but it's not like, whatever. But if I don't like jeans too tight because I actually, I don't like my balls getting crushed. And that happens sometimes. And then on top of that, I pretty much have to get an inch or so larger waist because I conceal carry pretty much everywhere. So yeah, I need that extra inch to slip the 9 in there. Berto Perez is up in here. What's up? Getting through the chat. That's where we're at. Seth's done. Wait, where was Seth? Seth was laying into the chat. Was it like in a funny way, or was it he got pissed off at somebody? Did someone piss off Seth? It's supposed to be members only. Wear spandex and leather. I have very little leather, and I do own spandex and nylon stuff, but I have stopped. I actually separated all of my undergarments. I separated all the fucking spandex, nylon bullshit, like Under Armour, all that shit. I have all, and the thongs, all of that, and the jock straps, all of that, and that's pretty much it. All of that I have separated from my regular cotton and bamboo and modal stuff, which is supposed to be better for your skin and whatnot, and not made of plastic. So yeah, I'm like done. I'm like done wearing the fucking plastic bullshit. For real. I don't know, man. I need the next thing I need to do is stop with the water bottles. But again, it's been years, guys. I have not figured out what kind of water filtration, whatever the fuck I should get. That's just a rabbit hole. I'm almost like not ready to go down. It's just financially, it's a commitment with some of this shit. The filters and the whatever. And if you get this system that does this, and then you got to add minerals because the water's too pure. And I'm not ready to go. I'd rather just suck on the plastic tit that is a Zephyr Hills bottle and move the fuck on with my day. I have some thongs. Yeah, it's not like something I wear a lot. Too femme for me. I'm not that kind of gay guy. I had a phase when I like to tuck it back and sing "Goodbye Horses" in the mirror and tell myself that I would fuck me. I had a phase like that, but not anymore. I think it's because I removed the xenoestrogens from my diet. I feel a little less gay these days. I don't know what the deal is. All right, we're chit chatting too much, guys. Let's get to the debate. I'm edging you guys for too long right now. I don't want you guys to ruin your explosive ecstatic experience. Okay, here we go. I just had this pulled up. Should be up in my history. Okay. Let me- Nerd Wallet. Wonder if Tuttle has that. What's going on?
Sounds conspiratorial.
Okay. We're going to start this over. So, what is this? This is
I'm gonna need a new headlight.
we got
right?
another ad
Got
just
any-
because I started the video over. I got hit with another ad. YouTube, you are fucking ruthless.
ideas? Carparts.com.
And I can't afford any of this. And if you were getting my Google data, you should know that I can't afford none of this bullshit. I buy food, weed, and I pay to stream. That's where my money goes. That's all I have money for. What? Do goodbye fat pig with your hairy ass out? Oh, instead of goodbye horses? Got to get that premium. Fuck that. You think I'm going to let YouTube take money out of my fucking pocket? After what they've done to me, after they delete my parody songs?
Always delivers. And they
I'd rather just have something to complain about while I stream. Ad. So, if you're not aware, guys, this is Alex Stein, obviously, versus this guy. What's his name? Trevor Valet. Trevor Val. So this guy, if y'all aren't familiar, this guy went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and let me pull up. You guys might have seen some of these clips. God damn you. Yeah, so this guy went on. I'll bring you guys to this tab real quick. We're not going to watch the Joe Rogan Experience, but you guys might have remembered these clips went around and stuff. Paleontologist Trevor Valle debunks dinosaurs never existed. So he had the standard like 3-ish hours long podcast on the Joe Rogan Experience and talked about a bunch of different shit. But a lot of people remember this one because he looked funny. He had the neon beard and what is that, a jersey? Yeah, some kind of jersey on. So we won't click through that. I'm just pulling that up because some people might actually recognize that. Dark Gene, bro. Pat O'Brien is up in here. Did I skip over you? Yes, I didn't see your chats. Did you ever kiss the mirror on the lips? I feel like I probably have, even though I hate to admit that. I was probably feeling very sexual one day, and I actually did that. Trolls got to Seth today, Bob Cook says. Guys, people come into my chat saying all kinds of shit. You think I give a fuck? No, I don't. Do you ever ask your boy toy to use teeth? What the fuck? Pat O'Brien. I don't know who likes teeth. I don't Who's on cocaine so bad that they have loss of sensation in their penis when they're having Seth. When they're having sex, they have such a loss of sensation that they need the person to bite on their dick. No, thank you. No thanks. Show us your favorite thong? What the fuck? I don't even have a favorite thong. It's dirty right now. It's in the dirty clothes. No, so I don't have a favorite thong. I don't wear thongs like that. The last time I wore a thong was on Sunday Run Day, and I told you guys that. It's because my running shorts they have a built-in like underwear layer underneath. They're actually very comfortable, but they're made out of fucking nylon bullshit. So to at least, I don't want to wear 2 layers of underwear to run in the hot sun. So I wore a cotton, it's made out of cotton, but I wore a thong underneath just so that my testicles and penis weren't, sitting in plastic while I sweat and run. I don't wear like thongs are fucking not comfortable and stupid. And on top of that, yeah, I have a concealed carry on me all the time. I don't want my holster chafing up the side of my hip because I have a thong on. I want to feel sexy, so my gun is going to chafe up my hip. No thanks. I know it sounds like I'm in denial and I'm just trying to overly defend myself from that accusation. It sounds very suspicious, I'm sure, but there's nothing weird about it. Okay, so y'all want to see y'all want to see who Johnny Fradley asked about my underwear? You want to see a new pair I just bought? This is not a paid endorsement, by the way. But this is called Obviously. They have these on Amazon, and I've bought all the ones that are like on sale they're like a third off or something. But they're made out of modal, micro modal. They're like trunks. But look, it's got an actual pouch. It's got a pouch for my dingus. And the splooge berries. There's some room in there. I fill these out. Okay? Check that out. Obviously gay. Yeah, so I don't like the name of the brand being Obviously is kind of like stupid, but they're really, really comfortable. Like really comfortable. So anyway, that's as close as you get to seeing a thong for the night. Well, you know what? So that's not even okay. So if you have like a micro penis, that pouch is a bit much, but it looks more dramatic than what it is. I mean, it just holds things there. You don't actually like have to, I don't know what you guys think. I'm not that well hung. It looks intimidating. It looks like a lot, and it's not. It's really not. It's just enough space so that you're not all jammed up to the side or got the balls sticking to your legs and stuff. I'm not that well hung, and I fill those out just fine. It does make it makes you look bigger a little bit. It doesn't have a fly, no. No, I never use a fly anyway. Even my boxers that have a fly or something, I still just pull the front down. All right, let's get into the debate. We're talking too much about other stuff. You guys get me into these gay vortexes of showing my underwear and talking about the male anatomy. I did not even want to go down that road. And you guys are like, show us your thongs. Do you kiss yourself in the mirror? All this shit. Come on, guys. All right. Let's get this started. So, yeah, this is Ale Stein. This is years ago. When was this released? 4 years ago. So look at Ale Stein, young lad there. Look at our boy Stein. This is so long. Wait, was he still on Cheaters back then? Jesus, 4 years ago. He's looking young and studly there. He's getting it. Ale Stein has this jawline back, guys. You don't. Some people might not be keeping up with the Stein transformation, but he's becoming very sexy now. He's getting into shape. Stein looks so skinny, bro. Yeah, that jawline is coming back. That shit'll cut you. All right, let me just say for an intro too. This song that Modern Day Debate, and I was going to say I would hate for this person to hear me say this, whoever made this song, but actually I want you to hear this. This song is the worst intro song ever. This song is so annoying. It's time to pay. Explosions to the brain, going out in style. Okay, but then in between the chorus, the person playing the guitar is literally just playing a feedback sound where the guitar squeaks. They're playing a feedback sound as if it's an actual riff. They're not playing notes. They're just playing feedback. Listen to that hiss, that screeching sound. Who fucking played guitar for this track? Corey Feldman? Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's speed it up. You hear the feedback. It's fucking annoying. I don't think they've been using this song as much. I think enough people complained.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Modern Day Debate. Very excited.
Cock Talk with Steve. I like that. Cock Talk with Steve. Good idea. We should actually turn that into a real segment, the Fat Pig. We should do that like at least once. I was going to say once a week, but maybe once per stream. We should just do Cock Talk. A little bit just get a little dirty on here. I mean, it's late, right? It's 8:45. Kids are in bed.
For this epic debate tonight, want to let you
your kids. I don't have kids. I'm gay. I'm a useless gay guy.
know if it's your first time
I'm gonna die alone.
Here to Modern Day Debate. We host
All
debates
right, let's have a laugh. Come on, guys.
on science, religion, and politics. So a smorgasbord of topics. And if you enjoy controversial, juicy topics like this and many others, consider hitting that subscribe button as we have many more to come.
Guys, subscribe to this channel. This is Modern Day Debate. If you follow my channel and you already aren't subscribed, please, I'm being serious, subscribe to this channel because they have some interesting shit. You'll see some topic you're interested in that they have two random people come in and debate about.
In fact, as you'll see at the bottom right of your screen, folks, if you have not heard, we are thrilled about this Kickstarter that we have just launched yesterday. Basically,
is Michael Shermer going to debate on here?
this is potentially,
Or I guess he did 4 years ago. This was 4 years old. I keep forgetting.
and this is if the Kickstarter actually fully funds, it's no risk to you. So it's $3 to watch the debate live, and that's to cover the honorariums of the speakers. Anything extra that we have come in will be used for future debates. So want to let you know, no risk to you in that if the debate doesn't happen, the money goes back to everybody, 100% of it. And so
I wonder if this happened. So, guys, remember the other night we were talking about the Egypt shit, and I told you guys we'll do another deep dive into interesting stuff related to Egypt and other places. Maybe we'll touch on Göbekli Tepe and stuff in Turkey. But Michael Shermer, this guy you see in the very bottom right of this YouTube window, the video we're watching. This is the guy. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and in case maybe you recognize the face and not the name, this is the guy that went on Joe Rogan's podcast years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago now, to debate Graham Hancock about the age of the Sphinx. Dude, and it's so funny because this is one of the situations where I get Shermer is not an expert Egyptologist or geologist, but I guess he has friends and stuff that were telling him that, oh, this is all bullshit. Graham Hancock has his head up at his ass and whatever. So Michael Shermer was the one that instigated the debate, if I'm not mistaken, between him and Graham Hancock, and Randall Carlson was in there as well. And dude, he kind of got like dog walked the whole time. I mean, it just like, I don't understand what the point of him going in there was, because it looked bad. And, you know, it was one of those debates where I look at, not like Graham Hancock is a hero of mine, but I'm familiar with a lot of his work, and it's not mine. My buddy has some of his books. I've read a little bit of, God, what was it? It was Spirituality, one of his books. There's a couple of his, and Something of the Gods. Is it? I don't. This has been so long ago. I read little bits and pieces, not the full book. I won't lie, but I am familiar with some of his stuff. So when I saw this debate, Graham Hancock versus Michael Shermer, I was like, "Fuck, man." I was hesitating to click on it because I was like, I'm about to watch what someone I look up to get their ass handed to them on Joe Rogan's podcast. That's going to be embarrassing for Joe Rogan too, because this is one of Rogan's friends. And dude, Graham Hancock absolutely fucked Michael Shermer up. In fact, Michael Shermer had to go on Twitter and apologize because Graham Hancock was right about something that they were arguing about, and Michael Shermer was just not letting up on it, and he had to concede on Twitter. So it was a very interesting debate. Michael Shermer is a good debater, though. I just don't know. That wasn't his. It's not his expertise, so he didn't belong there. But anyway,
highly encourage you to check that out. Pledge at that Kickstarter account or campaign, which is linked in the description, so that we can make that epic debate.
Okay. And so, by the way, I didn't even say, this debate is about, are dinosaurs real? This is going to be good.
Dr. Michael Shermer and Inspiring Philosophy happen. So, also want to let you know a couple other housekeeping type things. First, I want to say thanks so much to Steve McRae. You all know him. He's an equal opportunity fellow. He equally offends everyone. We really do appreciate that Steve helped us connect with Trevor Vail, Dr. Trevor Vail, I should say. And so we're thrilled to have Trevor Vail with us tonight, as well as our other guest, Alex. They're both linked in the description, folks. In fact, I'm going to throw Steve McRae's link down there as well, as we appreciate Steve's help. And want to let you know, last night, very embarrassing, folks, very embarrassing. Our Matt Dillahunty debate with Stuart Nettle has been rescheduled. So if you were there, you saw that flop. Our connection was pretty bad. So we are going to have that debate. It's going to be in the next week. And so with that, very excited for tonight's debate. Here's how it's going to work format-wise. We are going to start with Dr. Trevor Vale, who will have his opening statement. He can use as many as 10 to 12 minutes. That's up to him. Then we'll have that same opening from Alex Stein, same in length. So it could be 1 minute up to 10 to 12 minutes, and then open conversation followed by Q&A. So if you happen to have a question, feel free to fire it into the old live chat. If you tag me with @ModernDayDebate, makes it easier for me to get every question in that list. So thanks so much. We are going to kick it over. Well, first let me just say we are thrilled again. Thank you so much, Alex and Dr. Trevor Vale, for being here. It's a true pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you. And it's Valley, and I'm not a doctor, just a master.
You got it. Thank you very much.
Valley. Your name is spelled wrong, sir. Sorry.
My mistake on that. And
Okay.
thank you.
I'm going to consider that a point against Trevor Valet, because his name, he says it's Valley and it's spelled wrong. I'm going to count that as a point against him. He's already losing this debate.
Very much appreciate your peacefulness and flexibility. And Alex, you as well. Thanks so much for being here.
I took 1 semester of pre-med, so I prefer to be called doctor. If you don't mind, call me Dr. Stein the rest of the debate.
Thank you for doing that. It's like
Thank you.
your father, Kent Hovind. But we will kick it off with Alex Stein with his opening. Or no, I'm sorry about that. Trevor, we're going first with his opening.
Bro, let me just tell you guys, from what I remember of this debate, it's basically this guy, Trevor Valley, just getting fucking pissed off and triggered at Alex Stein doing his bit. Alex Stein is here to debate whether dinosaurs are real. And this motherfucker, oh my God, guys. Alex is a wild one, bro. This is a good debate, though. This is back when he was just, I mean, he's as wild as he's ever been today. But anyway, this is our boy. Let's watch our boy do his work.
The floor is all yours.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everybody.
Let's watch the master at work.
I'm Trevor Valley. I'm the paleontologist, so you can probably figure out what side of this debate, quote unquote debate, I'm on. I've been a paleontologist for more than a decade. I was a field biologist before that. I've excavated fossils in 25 to...
Master debater. Who? Alex Stein? He is, dude. He is. Alex Stein is like the modern day troll version of Christopher Hitchens. He's so entertaining in a debate that you actually stop caring which side is right. And you don't even pay attention to if he's right. It's just you want to hear him talk more because he's entertaining and captivating. Christopher Hitchens was doing the same shit, guys. There's plenty of people that are, well, probably not plenty, but there's, people like to dissect old Christopher Hitchens videos because he was like considered like the best debater back in the day because he was so entertaining, charming, and ruthless. And he wasn't always right, but he won most debates.
30 different fossil localities across 4 different countries.
Same with our boy Stein.
Been on the Discovery Channel, History Channel, Nat Geo, Science Channel, a few other things. I don't have a YouTube channel to monetize like Alex does, but you can find me on Twitter on @tattoosandbones.
Boo!
Topic is, dinosaurs don't exist. Well, that's straight off the bat bullshit. My opponent, Alex, if you saw the last debate, he likes to steal bullshit talking points from other completely ignorant grifters like Eric Dubé, who get everything wrong. And he'll tell you that all the fossils in museums are fake and dinosaurs weren't discovered until after the word dinosaur was created, and then it was all a conspiracy to quote unquote make money. But what dime store Alex Jones won't tell you is that fossils were documented by Greek.
Oh my God, this guy's being a dick. Dime store Alex Jones. Son of a bitch. It's Alex Stein. Primetime 99. If anything, it'd be the 99-cent store Alex Jones, but I don't think he's that. But anyway, you could have made the joke better.
Greeks in the 5th and 6th centuries BCE, Also by Augustine in 5th century CE, and he would know that if he actually read Ancient Fossil Discoveries and Interpretations by Adrian Meyer in the Oxford Handbooks of Animals and Classical Thought. He won't tell you that Chinese dragon fossils, which were dinosaurs, were discussed in Western Jin Dynasty around 265 the Common Era. Won't tell you that Ibn Sina, a Persian naturalist, in 1027 discovered and discussed fossils and fossilization. Won't talk about the 1676 Megalosaurus femur that Robert Plot discovered. He thought it was part of a Roman war elephant or maybe even a biblical giant. He won't talk about Edward Lild's 1699 sauropod tooth. Won't discuss Cuvier, the father of paleontology, who unfortunately was a horrible racist piece of shit and a creationist. That in the 1790s, he discussed fossils and natural geology. Christopher Pegg talked about a Megalosaurus jaw in 1797. John Kidd had Megalosaurus fragments in 1815. William Buckland discussed the Megalosaurus between 1815 and 1824, named it in 1822. The Mantell family discovered the iguanodon in 1822. Paleontology was coined in 1822.
Dark match Gene. Yes. Gene, would you stretch this guy? Yes, easily. He could definitely. Wow, the racist origin of dinosaur fossils. I know, this guy with the beard is probably a racist.
Mary Anning found pterosaurs, ichthyosaurs, and all that in the mid 1800s, I think around 1828 or 1830. The Oglala Lakota Nation found fossils in the 1830s. William Benstead had an iguanodon that was discovered in 1834. But he will tell you about the 1858 hadrosaur discovery that he throws out about Leedy, the anatomist, and Folk, the geologist, and Hopkins, who was a miner and had absolutely no idea what he found. But he won't tell you that they were actually discovered 20 years earlier in 1838. And he says one bone was found when actually it was 8 teeth. Part of
Why is this weirdo talking about miners, huh? Why are you thinking about little kids?
Other dental battery fragments, parts of the, let's see here, upper left jaw, 16 parts of the spine, part of the right shoulder, upper and lower left arm, left and right parts, the pubis and the hips, the left leg with the femur, tibia, and fibula intact, foot bones, and the toe. Richard Owen, Sir Richard Owen, pardon me, the old world creationist and anti-Darwinian evolutionist, actually coined the Dinosauria taxon and taxonomy, another term that Alex doesn't know.
What is going on in my chat? Dark Match Steve, did you ever used to go on chat roulette back in the day to look for hot guys, bro? That seems like a question that Pat O'Brien is supposed to answer. I'm not sure you're on the right account, but anyway, yeah, so no, I didn't. I wasn't very tech savvy back. Well, I'm still not tech savvy, but I'm at least, I can put up a stream. But yeah, back in the day, I was not tech savvy enough to get on chat roulette myself, but I had a gay friend that got, one time I was at his house and he got on chat roulette, or I don't know if I guess it would have been chat roulette back in the day. That was the one. I know now it's like Omegle or something like that people use. But yeah, we were on for like maybe 2 minutes and there was dicks popping up. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I wasn't, I didn't ask to look at strangers' dicks. He's the one that got on the chat roulette. But I watched.
Coined that term in 1841. And then discarded them.
I just wanted to see what would pop up. I wasn't, and yeah, after the first penis popped up on chat roulette, I stuck around, but I wasn't sticking around to see more penises. Okay. I just wanted to see what else would pop up.
The iguanodon, the Megalosaurus, etc.
I was curious if there would be more penises. I was actually wanting to make it like a scientific sort of like, for scientific purposes, how many statistically out of all the people you talk to on chat roulette in 20 minutes, how many penises would you see?
As big lizards, he derided the Mantell family that found them, and he actually coined the term dinosauria to take the credit. And he even mentioned in his pre-show about Edward Drinker Cope and Othniel Marsh, who were students of Leedy, and how they were fighting during the Bone Wars. Yeah, he'll talk about that, but he won't talk about that dinosaurs are found on every single continent. Natural history museums are some of the least funded museums in the world. But he will say that the fossils are fake, that they're replicas or casts. But the problem is replica or cast doesn't mean fake. It means copy, and copies require an original. For example, Sue, the Tyrannosaur in the Field Museum, that mount is 90% fossil. The only things that aren't are a few vertebra, bits of the rib cage, the arm, the left foot, and the skull, because the original skull weighs over 600 pounds and it's on display near the mount. So they had to make a replica, a copy of that in order to mount it.
So it's fake, you're saying, basically. This guy just conceded the debate, I think.
He also won't talk about famous fossils that weren't found by paleontologists, completely destroying his argument, part of the quote-unquote museum industrial complex, such as a T-Rex relative discovered by a 7-year-old.
What's with all the gay questions? What the hell, guys? We're trying to watch a debate. No, it's okay. Johnny Z. Fradley asked, do you have any gerbils, Dark Match Steve? Not anymore, I don't. And the last one died. I kept it in too long.
A horned dinosaur discovered by a nuclear physicist. The dueling dinosaurs, an incredibly famous set of skeletons, including a completely 100% intact T-Rex that was found by a rancher. The Alberta mummified ankylosaur that was found by miners.
Yeah, I think Stein he's not listening. Fucking hysteric Eric. I think he's actually looking some other stuff up. This guy, the Trevor Valley guy, or Valley, according to him, his name is spelled wrong, but anyway, Trevor Valley is mentioning Stein's talking points before he gets to him. So I think Stein is looking up some other stuff that he hasn't talked about or something. Looks like Alex Stein's on a computer.
Miners, let's see. There's Leonardo the duckbill, who was found by an outdoorsman. Oh, yeah. And hey, Alex is in Dallas. The notosaur found in Texas, that was found by a 5-year-old. None of these people are professional paleontologists. Yet, supposedly, it's this grand conspiracy that we're all in it to make money. Sure.
Scott Starbird's up in here. What's up, Scott? Thanks for joining us. What's up, bro? You're going to get about 3 hours of Alex Stein today. You ready for that?
Sure. But the thing is, he says dinosaurs are fake. Well, what about all the other fossils not in the Mesozoic, such as during the Cambrian period or during the Ice Age? Like this woolly mammoth tooth right here that I personally pulled out of an ice cave in Siberia. What about those?
That looks like a rock, buddy. Who else? Oh, did you ever see the Flintstones live action movie from the early 90s, bro? Yes, I did. And one time, K-Dog, what's up? K-Dog's up in here. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. One time when I was a little kid, me and my brother ate about like a half a bottle of Flintstone vitamins because we thought they tasted good, like candy. And I remember my mom freaked out, but I don't remember anything happening to me. Unless maybe that's what made me gay. Maybe that's why I'm gay. I don't know.
Those fossils, why aren't they also fake? Oh, just dinosaurs. Right. The thing is, it's a completely made up controversy. And Alex embraces that because he won't tell you that he has zero actual knowledge or experience in the topic, zero actual knowledge of the scientific process, zero knowledge about anything functional in the topic. He won't tell you that he's a trust fund baby. He's a failed stand-up comic. He's a failed wannabe television personality and a celebrity.
Oh my God, what a dick. Failed nothing. Alex Stein is funnier than you, for sure. God damn, I'm fucking bored listening to you. Fucking bullshit. Shut the fuck up. Let Stein start talking.
The hobnopper, failed
You
Instagram
don't even have a YouTube channel. What does that make you?
influencer, and he started this YouTube channel, the Conspiracy Castle thing, because he was bored during the COVID epidemic. He trolls and manufactures controversy for notoriety, like the
Yeah, he was bored during the pandemic. What were you doing? Digging up bones and going and getting vaccines? You fucking...
whole eye mask for COVID masks things. Come on, man. He accepts donations and money to do this on the YouTube channel, because his YouTube channel is for entertainment purposes only, not for information. What are you up to tonight? What, $71 so far? He calls for a respectful debate, yet mocks and derides me.
This guy sounds jealous. This guy's hurting for cash. He said it himself. Paleontology is not a well-funded, career path. It's not well-funded. This guy's hurting. He needs the $71. Jealous ass, bald ass bitch.
And the entire topic during his pre-show. Alex is a disingenuous lying fraud. He reduces actual scientific literacy and overall trust of actual experts. And he's embracing this new wave idiocy of dinosaur denial that was started virally with the group Christians Against Dinosaurs. Now, he said in his pre-show that I would say he's part of that group. He's not, but he's riding their coattails. That group was a hoax group created in 2015 by people that were connected to Landover Baptist parody site. It went viral with a host of satire videos. I turned around and debunked them in the following February because they did some fake Photoshop protest photos. The whole idea of this started gaining traction about 2006, 2008. A little bit of the parody started with the Christians for Michelle Bachmann group on Facebook in 2014, and that birthed the Christians Against Dinosaurs faux movement. And
Dutch Duke, I'm with you. This guy not only makes me hate dinosaurs, this guy's making me think they actually didn't exist.
Unfortunately, satire and parody like that, whilst funny, encourages jackass grifters like Alex to latch onto that invented controversy and try and monetize it. So, Alex, what you don't realize is that the entire point of...
See, what's so ironic about this is this guy is like, oh yeah, satire and stuff is cool and all, but then grifters latch onto it and really believe it, and they try to monetize it. It's like, bro, what do you think? Okay, I hate to let the cat out of the bag, but what do you think Alex Stein is doing? I won't say it, but the irony here is like, this guy's like, oh, I get satire, guys. I get satire, but Alex Stein, I don't like him.
Of science is fuck around and find out. Well, you did, and you're about to. So here's the thing, you wish.com version of Logan Paul. You have two options. Either concede the argument, apologize for grifting, and disconnect from this stream, or go ahead and rage quit and claim you had a connection issue or something. Because you have no point, you have no real argument.
Oh, wow. Sick burn, fatty.
You are only doing this in order to gain followers on YouTube. And quite honestly, it's kind of a waste of time.
Thanks so much. We will kick it over to Alex for his opening as well. And I've got the timer set for you. The floor is all yours.
So I just want to start off by saying thank you very much. I really appreciate that introduction. I think that was very well spoken, and I think you have done your research on me. I really appreciate that. And I know you ended your thing with a bunch of personal insults.
You sound like a fan, Trevor Valet. Don't even have your name spelled right. You know so much about Stein. Sounds like you gave him a lot of clicks. I'm sure that helped the algorithm. Pat yourself on the back if you can reach your own back.
But I don't want to get on the personal insult thing because I understand that you've been a paleontologist for over 10 years and you've studied this stuff. And so me calling out all the fraud in paleontology, like the disinformation that has gone out and all of the fraud that paleontology is based on, it hurts your feelings to hear that. And so I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but basically I just want to start with the whole dinosaur scam. Like you said, it basically goes back to Marsh and Co. So you have this guy, O.C. Marsh, and you have this guy, Drinker Cope. And basically what they did is they learned about dinosaurs from this guy named Joseph Leidy. And Joseph Leidy was their mentor. And Cope and Marsh did so much paleontological fraud, I don't even know if that's the right word, that their mentor, Joseph Leidy, actually ended up quitting paleontology. So you got a guy, I'm arguing with a guy that wasn't even the founder of paleontology, Trevor Valley, yet the guy that even founded it quit because the people that he taught paleontology to, O.C. Marsh and Drinker Cope, were such frauds that their dinosaurs in museums to this day are still a lie. Up until 2015, the Brontosaurus, which was misclassified by Marsh and Cope, they both classified it as different species of dinosaurs, was still in museums up until 2015. So that gives you a little feeling in my stomach that they are using this fraud, these lies of dinosaur bones, and putting in museums to make money. So you can call me a grifter to try to make money. You do the same thing. You say that these dinosaur bones are millions of years old, yet you don't even know how to properly carbon date them, or the radiometric dating process is so inaccurate. They can take lava that has just came out of a volcano and hardened and measure that, and it dates millions of years old. So the technology they're using to date these dinosaur bones is provably false and unreliable. So I agree. There are reptiles. There are Komodo dragons. There are big animals. We have elephants. We have giraffes. And they were around a long time ago, thousands of years ago. And those animals died and sediment went on top of them. But that doesn't make them 65 million years old. Now, for my first example, I want to talk about the coelacanth fish. The coelacanth fish is a fish that was supposedly 65 million years old. This fish was supposedly extinct. That's right. They had the fossil record of the coelacanth fish. Look this up. Coelocanthe. I can't even spell it, but it's a coelacanth fish. And basically, they ended up finding the fish. And they say that this fish is 65 million years old. Well, the problem is that fish forgot to evolve like everything else. So you have to realize the reason why they lie and they tell you that these bones that are in our generational life with humans, the reason why they say that they are dinosaurs is because they have to fill in the holes of the evolutionary fraud. They have to date the earth and make it seem that it's much older than it really is. So these dinosaurs are a cute little way to make money and to lie to us and take away our significance. Now, I know that sounds conspiratorial, but I'm telling you, when you look at the foundation that paleontology was built on, it was built on absolute fraud. So if you build a house on a foundation like that, then the house is going to collapse and the whole industry is bullcrap. And then you look at a girl like Mary Schweitzer, who found a dinosaur that had soft tissue still. If something's 65 million years old, how can a dinosaur bone have soft tissue? It can't, because these paleontologists, they can't figure out how old these rocks are. They don't know. They tell you like they know. And that's my problem. My problem starts with guys finding the trachodon. They found a tooth and they extrapolated a whole entire dinosaur. Now, I'm not saying there aren't big lizards, but how can you take a tooth and tell me how big its penis is or how many eyes it has? You can't. And all the dinosaurs in the museum.
I can actually do that. If you show me the tooth, one tooth of a man, I can tell you how big his penis is. I'm able to do that today.
Museums are fake, and they have to piece them together with other dinosaurs. So they are a fraud. You can't take what you see in the museum as reality, and they present it as real. So that's my problem. My problem is with the fraud that dinosaurs are presented as a matter of fact. Yet they have fish, coelacanth fish, that they say are dinosaurs that are here today. We don't even have every single species of animal found here on Earth right now. Yet they tell you that they were able to find dinosaurs while they were fighting as they were dying. They got hit with an asteroid and died. Yeah, right. That's the biggest lie I've ever seen in my life. Yet they want to perpetrate that because that's how they age the Earth. They want to tell you that dinosaurs are real when they're not. Yes, we have some old bones, but they're not a T-Rex. A T-Rex isn't anatomically correct. You can look, there's only 15 T-Rexes ever even found. That's not enough for you to tell me that that's the reason why fossil fuels exist. So the fossil fuel lie was created by the Rockefellers at the Geneva Convention in order to make a scarcity, a false scarcity. So dinosaurs are like that. It's another manipulation tactic by the social engineers. And you have guys that are paleontologists. Yeah, there's old rocks, but you're looking at an old rock and you're dating an old rock with inaccurate dating machinery. So you don't know how old it is. And the reason why that I'm actually
is Alex Stein right? Alex Stein might actually be right here. I don't know.
Really personally touched by this topic though, Trevor, is here in Texas, there's a place, Dinosaur Valley Park. And
fucking Grando Reaper's in here. What's up? What's up? He's high AF. Who? Alex Stein or Trevor Valley? Sean Patrol's up in here. Alex Stein. Yeah. What's up? What's up? Oh, thank you, sir. Love you too. Love you back, Sean Patrol. Grando Reaper said the Earth was made before the first day. You can't have a day without a sun. It could have been there for billions of years. This guy doesn't even read the Bible. Who, Stein?
the reason why Dinosaur Valley Park is, interesting because it's in Glen Rose, Texas. And basically, a little bit about Dinosaur Valley Park. In Glen Rose, there was a family in 1908 that would sell dinosaur fossils. And they actually thought there was all these dinosaurs there. But it ended up finding out that they were carving these rocks and selling them. And these people were moonshiners. So when you look at the basis of the foundation of paleontology, it's always been a carnival scam.
Trevor Valley has one of those fucking fake dinosaur bones on his desk right now. Some moonshiners carved that out of granite.
Even Barnum Brown, one of the main guys to start paleontology, was named after P.T. Barnum, the circus MC. So I'm telling you guys, these are fraud. These are grifters. There's reason. These are the real grifters. There's reasons it's always kids that find these she cells because they tell, oh, hey, kid, go dig over there. It's just like the Addams family in Glen Rose, Texas. It is all bull crap. They cannot date these animals. And these animals, these big prehistoric animals, aren't even correct in the museum. You can look up the Brontosaurus. A Brontosaurus isn't even real, yet it was on display up until 2015 as a real dinosaur. So if you're telling me this paleontology is so freaking smart that they can't even put the right dinosaurs on display, something's wrong. And that's the problem, is it's rife with fraud. And I don't want to get personal. I'm not going to get personal, Trevor, because I'm not going to stoop to your level. But you said that you've been on all these TV shows. That's exactly what it is. Dinosaurs are all TV. It's all creative. It's all make-believe. These people take one tooth and they extrapolate an entire dinosaur. And you say that all these replicas were made by originals? That's false. They made unoriginals to add to real dinosaur bones before they ever made a replica, and that is a fact. So I'm just telling you, the Hadrosaurus folklie, that is a lie. All these dinosaurs that are put on display, like the Brontosaurus.
So wait, Alex Stein just said they faked some bones to put with the real bones. So did Alex just concede the debate that there are real dinosaur bones? I don't know. I'm so confused right now.
Or the Hadrosaurus folklie. These aren't real dinosaurs, and they're all misdiagnosed by Marsh & Co., who all they did was cheat and steal. Their entire business was a fraud. They wrote all these intense papers stating all these dinosaurs. They found thousands of dinosaurs, yet at the end of the day, paleontologists only recognize 32 of those dinosaurs today. So when the founders, the majority of the dinosaurs that the founders of paleontology found were fake or were fraud or were inaccurate, that makes you go, what's the deal with these dinosaurs? And I'm telling you,
2-minute warning.
the deal is they're made with chicken bones in China. You can look into it. There is a good video on YouTube, dinosaur bones made in China, ? You'll see it. It's an RT video. It'll show you how they make them. And all these dinosaurs are behind lock and key. I just have to take your word for it. Yeah, you might dig up an old bone, but that doesn't mean that it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's the problem. My problem is with the extrapolation process. When China puts out dinosaurs that have freaking feathers, and then these dinosaurs are different, then the founders themselves, Marsh and Koch, can't even agree on these dinosaurs, then it's all a fraud. And the extrapolation process is so inaccurate. You can't find one femur and tell me how big an animal's genitals are. It's absolutely absurd. So with that, I don't want to get personal, Trevor. I enjoy you. I think you're a nice guy. And I'm sorry that your paleontology and your whole career is a fraud. I'm sorry about that.
We're going to kick it into the open conversation mode. As you can tell, these guys aren't.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change. Going on vacation?
Oh, yeah. Road tripping with the fam.
All right, we'll stay right there in your car. We'll get you out of here in 10 minutes.
Get out. Just 10 minutes.
Take 5. Bro, these people way overcharge for an oil change.
Friends, but what we're going to do is we want to ask, we're going to maybe start with 3-minute intervals just to be sure that this is somewhat controlled chaos. So we do want to ask for this first 3 minutes or so, Alex, I want to just ask that you not interrupt at all. Give Trevor a chance to kind of share his initial thoughts. If you want to do longer intervals than that, guys, we can do that. But the big goal for me is I don't want people interrupting. So I do want you guys to have a chance to actually say what you want to say. So we'll kick it over to Trevor for the open conversation. Floor is all yours.
Oh, sorry, I was on D&D Beyond making up a new character. Let's see. Alex, you're wrong. Lady quit because of the sniping and uncharacteristic aspects of his students, and that he couldn't secure the funding to continue his research. 2, you don't carbon date dinosaurs.
Radiometric date, excuse me, sir.
Don't interrupt.
So that's kind of cheap right there, because Alex Stein slipped up and said carbon dating when he meant radiometric, and Alex Stein corrected himself already. So this guy's just I don't know. He's already stretching a little bit to debunk Alex.
You don't carbon date, you radiometric date them, and you state that that doesn't work and that it's a fraud. Which one's a fraud? Is it the uranium lead dating, the potassium argon dating, the rubium strontium dating, the lead dating? Which one is it? Also, you mentioned Brontosaurus for some reason. Obviously, since you're not a paleontologist and you actually haven't done any research on the topic, you don't realize that Brontosaurus is actually a valid taxon as of 2015. You mentioned the coelacanth. 1, that's not a dinosaur, that's a fish. And 2, it's a Lazarus taxon. You don't know what that means. That means family members of that same animal were alive during the time of the dinosaurs, just like turtles and fish, birds, things like that, primates. Or in this case, mammals, actually, not primates. They came later. You said there's only...
Uh-oh, you screwed up. Alex Stein can correct you during his moment that primates weren't around then during the dinosaurs. You said it and corrected yourself, but it doesn't count because that's how you were scoring Alex Jones. Anyway, yeah, you get it.
32 recognized dinosaurs. There's actually 300 genera and 700 different species. You bring up Mary Schweitzer and soft tissue. You didn't read the paper because you don't realize that the soft tissue was found after weeks of demineralization. Demineralization, Alex, is when you take a hardened dinosaur bone. This one happened to be a T-Rex bone that was sliced into very thin sections and then soaked in a weak acid for weeks. And that what was found, the soft tissue, was actually small nanometer sized chunks of collagen and stuff like that that were completely encased by the surrounding fossilized material. What a lot of the creationists and young earth creationists say, that whose argument you're you're riding the coattails on and using to commit your fraud, is that they think that you crack open the bone and goo comes out. That's not what happens. You talked about Trachodon and how it was a tooth. Yeah, you know how they decided what kind of dinosaur that was? Because
This guy's bones look like they're full of fucking Big Mac sauce.
compared it to other dinosaurs. In this case, they thought it was a hadrosaur. It actually turns out to be a lambeosaurine. You mentioned the Biloxi trackways in Glen Rhodes, Texas, and how dinosaur fraud, and they were selling fraudulent fossils and trackways and all that. The Addams family were devout creationists doing this fraud. So it wasn't scientists that were doing this. It was young earth creationists that were. So far, you've actually said nothing of any statement that was even remote to true. It just shows you have a comprehensive misunderstanding of the entire science. And everything I said before, other than the dime store Alex Jones and the wish.com Logan Paul, weren't personal insults. They were facts. That's why you give out your Conspiracy Castle Instagram and not your Primetime Stein Instagram showing you as everything that I said. So again, you can either concede the argument and apologize and go off and try and monetize your YouTube channel, or you can rage quit. That's the only two choices you have.
No, I'm not going to quit. So is it my time to talk?
Yeah, go ahead. That was 3.5 minutes. We'll give you the same, Alex.
This guy just keeps asking Alex to quit. I think it might even happen another time. I don't know why this guy wants the debate to be over so badly.
So basically, it comes down to, I'm sorry that the people that create dinosaur fraud, I guess they're the good, they're the bad fraud people. So the people that Marsh and Coke, when they created dinosaur fraud, they're the good fraudulent dinosaur people. But the thing is, what I said is about there's only Marsh and Coke, only out of the thousands of dinosaur bones they found, only 32 of those were recognized. So Marsh and Coke were only responsible for 32 recognized dinosaurs, is what I said. But the coelacanth fish, that's the one that's interesting, because yet we have the fossilized bones of it that they say are 65 million years old. But why would that fish forget to evolve? Everything else evolved, but yet that fish didn't. So the coelacanth right there just shows that the dating and that the scientist that you say is so accurate is inaccurate, and they make mistakes. And now we can go back to the soft tissue. You say, oh, the mineralization. Well, 65 million years old turns everything else into rock, but you're telling me it can't turn blood into rock? I'm sure that's a cute story, but I'm just not going to believe it. So obviously, I'm not going to convince you of my side, and you're not going to convince me of your side. But the fact that you can't admit the dinosaur and paleontology is basically built on a fraud by OC freaking Marsh and Drinker Coke, then I don't know where we can really go. I'm going to stay here and talk to you as long as you want. But what I'm saying is
so I don't know if Alex is going to bring this up in this debate, but I've heard this brought up quite a few times. And the Smithsonian, I don't really want to do fact checking tonight. We kind of want to just lay back and let this play, because we're already going to be way late tonight. In fact, I'm going to put this on 1.25. But anyway, the Smithsonian, dude, I don't know what the fuck. There's all kinds of stories of some sketchy shit going on with the Smithsonian, with them getting samples of different shit. I know this ties into the giants, the theories about the existence of giants in the past, that supposedly the Smithsonian had samples of bones. If I'm not mistaken, I've heard there's all kinds of stories of the Smithsonian doing sketchy shit, losing samples of stuff and whatever. So I don't know if this ties back in with the dinosaur shit. I think it does. He might bring it up here.
The foundation and the extrapolation process of dinosaurs and use that we still use today, that are in still museums today, were built by fraudulent liars that had ulterior motives in the bone work than actual science. So when you look back at everything they did, It was a bull crap. So you can tell me all this new stuff, but all the new data that you find, like the Archaeoraptor, that was fake, that the Chinese put out, that was a real dinosaur. That was real scientists that did that. There was real scientists putting out fake dinosaurs, and they said that this is a transitional species. That's the problem. There is no transitional species with any of these dinosaurs. So it's just provably false. And the fact that we can find them so easy, we can go to Dinosaur Valley State Park and just dig them up. Yet you say that all these ancient civilizations knew about these dinosaurs. That's incorrect. They didn't have the idea of big T-Rexes, maybe the China dragon, and maybe there were some sort of dragons, but the T-Rex that you described today is fake. And the extrapolation process that paleontologists use to create these dinosaurs that they've never seen these dinosaurs. They don't know the color of its skin. They don't know the body temperature of it. They don't know its diet, yet they tell you that they can look at a dinosaur and tell you if it ate meat or if it ate freaking vegetables. It's just bull crap. And I get that that's, hard for me to hear, but you can personally attack me all you want. I'm not trying to personally attack you, Trevor. I'm just saying the dinosaur museum, the dinosaur industrial complex is a fraud. They make money. They use it because it's open source. Anybody can throw a dinosaur on a t-shirt and say Dino Live. And that's the reason why the Dino Live is a fraud. And I hope you guys do go follow my Primetime Stein Instagram and Conspiracy Castle Instagram.
Thanks so much. We'll kick it back to Trevor.
Let's see. Archaeoraptor was not created by scientists in China. It was actually two different dinosaurs stuck together, and it was being sold by a fraudulent gem dealer in Tucson, Arizona. The coelacanth, even though what you're trying to do is deflect and bring this onto an evolution topic, and I'm not going to let you, just to kill the whole coelacanth thing, since you have a gross misunderstanding intentionally, because you're...
Bro, I decided to fact check. So I just typed in to see what would come up. I typed in faked or caught faking dinosaur fossils just to see what would pop up. Funny thing is, so look, I'm sure you guys have noticed if you guys are using Google that most of the time when you look something up on Google, they have the AI overview now, which kind of summarizes an answer to what you're looking for. And it normally, for each little part of the summary, there's different paragraphs, and they usually have a citation there so you can actually fact check the AI. The AI is not always right. We know that. You have to pay attention when you're dealing with that. But what was interesting when I typed this in, so there's sometimes when you type stuff in that's too, like, if it's not a question or it's just, the AI doesn't give you an answer all the time, basically. Sometimes you Google something and it's not something that the AI is answering a question, But when you ask a question and it's something that's not too, like I don't know, niche or fucking random, then it gives you an answer. And when I typed this in, caught faking dinosaur bones, I forgot how I worded it, but anyway, when I typed it in, it started generating an AI answer, and then it just canceled it out, which was kind of weird. But anyway, let me bring you guys to this other tab. And now I don't think this is an example that Stein is talking about, but check this out. This is kind of interesting. This treasured fossil turns out to be a forgery. Oops. Paleontology is rife. Again, let me say this again out loud. Paleontology is rife with fake fossils that are made to cash in on illegal trade but end up interfering with science. Oops. Guys, I thought Alex Stein was just trolling this whole time. Is he right? This is scary. Is Alex Stein right? Oh my God, Alex Stein's in the chat. What's up, Stein? Bro, I'm fact checking your old debate. I thought you were just trolling. Dinosaurs aren't real. I'm like, we're learning this tonight, dude. What the fuck? What's up, Alex? Thanks for joining us. Check this out, Alex. This is from 2024. There's another fake fossil. So let's read this here, the caption for the photo. What is this? Tridentinosaurus antiquus was discovered in the Italian Alps in 1931. 1931. people since 31 have been thinking, nearly 100 years, people have thought that this fossil is real. Thought to be an important specimen for understanding early reptile evolution, but has now been found to be, in part, a forgery. Its body outline, appearing dark against the surrounding rock, was initially interpreted as preserved soft tissue, but is now known to be paint. It's fucking paint. The scientists, the experts got fooled by paint. So this fatty talking down to Alex got tricked by paint on the wall. Someone painted some rocks, and they're basing their entire career off it. Fake fossils are among us, passing almost Alex Stein is right. What the fuck? Fake fossils are among us, passing almost undetected under the eye of experts all over the world. This is a serious problem. Counterfeited specimens can mislead paleontologists like this fatty Trevor Valley into studying an ancient past that never existed. How embarrassing! What the fuck? Oh my god. All right, let's get back to the debate. You guys can go check out that article. This is at Science what? I don't know. Scientific American. Guys, this is like, it'd be one thing if this article was on fucking InfoWars or so. This is Scientific American. This is an actual science outlet. What the fuck? Should we play this video? Are you guys still on the same tab? Hold on. Let's see what this is.
Scientists recently discovered that one of the most famous fossils ever found was a forgery. So the fossil in question was found in Italy in 1931 and appears to depict a small
Trevor Valley, eat shit.
lizard-like creature known as Tridentinosaurus antiquus, which roamed the earth about 200 to 300 million years ago. And it was believed to be one of the oldest reptile fossils ever found and one of the very few with soft tissue preservation.
For almost 100 years, people thought this was real. Good God. Science is a joke.
Despite this fossil's fame, it wasn't until recently that scientists studied it with modern forensic techniques, and when they did, they found something shocking. The seemingly well-preserved skin that made the fossil so special was actually just black paint. Now, people have been forging fossils for as long as they've been finding them, with the earliest reports dating back to the late 18th and 19th centuries. What's weird...
This isn't even chicken bones. You could like almost excuse them confusing chicken bones because it's still bone. This is paint. This is fucking paint, Trevor Valley.
About this case, though, is that the fossil wasn't a complete forgery. The team of Italian scientists who made this discovery say that the fossil's hind limbs seem genuine, and they also found some tiny bony scales on what was likely the back of the animal. So whoever put paint...
You guys sure that's not more paint? Someone painted a fossil back in 1931. Shut the fuck up.
On this Tridentinosaurus antiquus fossil may have just been trying to increase its value, as there's long been a huge and lucrative market for rare fossils. In recent years, scientists have discovered that many natural history museums around the world have misidentified or completely counterfeit specimens in their collections. And the scientists who discovered the truth about the now infamous Tridentinosaurus antiquus fossil...
Bro, Alex Stein was right. Holy fuck, man. This is crazy because the first time I watched this debate years ago, and the first time I saw it, I was just cracking up the whole time at the fact that Alex is completely trolling. And like, of course, I've just watched it like, of course, dinosaurs are real. Okay. Of course, the fossils are real. All of them are real. Okay. But Alex Stein's in here having some fun, and Trevor is getting really butthurt. Bro, he's actually right. What the fuck? Guys, dinosaurs are fake. We're just learning this here tonight. Hold on. Let's get back to the debate.
Trying to continue this character of yours, this weird stand-up act that you're doing right now. Coelacanths actually have been in the same roundabout same. There are physiological differences in all the different genera for about 400 million years. not just 65. And the thing is, the coelacanths that are alive today are evolved forms of the ones that are extinct. See, that's how evolution works. But we won't get into that. That's for a different debate with somebody else.
You sure those aren't paint, buddy? You sure you're not looking at paint?
That has more time. Let's.
Oops, we thought we had a fossil, and we, based our entire careers off of this fossil, and oops, it's paint.
See, you keep on bringing up Cope and Marsh, and see, I have gotten their names wrong before when I was drunk. But it's Othniel Marsh and Edward Drinker Cope.
I said OC Marsh.
Yeah, but it's Othniel. It's a weird name. I know you kind of screw everybody screws it up. I called him Ogden.
Is the other guy's name Drinker Coke? Is that like some kind of subliminal messaging or something to make people want to drink Coke? What kind of fucking name is Drinker Coke?
But they were going at it because not out of fame, and while that was part of it, it got blown out of proportion because they were trying to dig in the same places. What you should do—
You know who the my favorite paleontologist is, guys? Vincent van Gogh. My favorite paleontologist. Most know him as a painter, but paint is dinosaur bones too. So he's also my favorite paleontologist.
Do is read a great book called Bone Wars. If you're honestly interested in this topic, rather than just doing a cursory Wikipedia run and writing down weird things that you can bleed about like a stuck pig. You
look like a stuck pig, fatty.
Completely ignorant of the topic, man. And I know this is like your character and it's kind of like this cool edgy thing that you're doing, but you are personally insulting me because you're calling a hard natural science.
Bro, this is the funny thing is Trevor Valley is actually trying to get out of this unscathed by, he is kind of straw manning Alex to an extent. I mean, there are some good points that Alex is bringing up. I don't think he's directly confronting some of them. Beyond the fact that I did one little Google search and Scientific American, the top hit on Google is Scientific American saying that paleontology is rife with fake fossils. Bro, learn to code. Get a real job.
A fraud. Therefore, you're calling me a fraud, even though you don't have the balls to say it directly.
I have the balls to say I just don't want to call you a fraud. I don't want to be rude. I'm not trying to be rude, Trevor.
But you are trying to be rude.
I'm not
Alex,
trying to be
nice. I want to give him a chance to finish. We're only about 2.5 minutes in.
But the thing is, Alex, you are being rude. You're just doing it in an offhanded way. You're doing it in kind of this side loading aspect of it. You won't directly say I'm a fraud, but you'll say that my science and my research is fraudulent. You'll take decades of my own research plus hundreds of years of other people's research, thousands of years of even more people's research, and throw it under the bus, and you'll only stick to dinos.
Guys, look at this fossil I have. Hold on, guys. Let me show you my fossil. Guys, check out my fossil. Look at this. Look at this fossil I have. This is my favorite dinosaur. Check this out, guys. It's made of paint, like real fossils. Look at this. It's 3 billion years old. Check this out, guys. I'm a paleontologist now. Okay, I'm back.
Again, you won't, yes, this topic is dinosaurs are extinct, but the dino deniers, all of you caricatures, don't bother to go after all the other fossils because it's all bullshit. You know what you're saying is bullshit. You're just trying to be this wannabe edgelord, man. Come on. You failed your saving throw and died a tragic death due to embarrassment. Just give it up, bud. You're fucking spare parts.
We'll kick it over to Alex for about 3 minutes.
Well, like you, Trevor, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I want to be nice to you. I understand you're a paleontologist, but I'm telling you guys, I've looked into Marsh and Cope, and the basis of the dinosaurs they put in the museum are a fraud. There was museums presented as real in museums, and they weren't accurate. So when I'm telling you the foundational issues with the dino lie is
This is the thing. Is Trevor going to admit or confront any of the actual facts, or is he just going to conveniently say Alex Stein's just a troll, so I don't have to confront any of the real facts and issues that he has, any of the real concerns he has with paleontology? I don't have to address any of it because Alex Stein is just a troll. Meanwhile, there's fake fossils everywhere, and Scientific American agrees with Alex Stein that there are fake fossils everywhere and showed us one that's paint. Sherwin fucking Williams, paint.
my problem. Yes, I get it. You find some old lizard bones, but when you're putting these things on display in museums and they're provably false, and even people within the own paleontology world,
I gotta hit the bowl again, guys. I'm actually getting heated. This guy's talking shit about our boy Stein, and this fucking fatty has his head up his ass.
have to correct this, then there's problems because
he's probably done a lot of studying. He's probably actually very intelligent, but yeah, I mean, this is convenient cowardice. You know, you have a good excuse to not have to deal with any of the points because you just calling the other guy a troll.
there is no, it's the prisoners are running the prison when it comes to paleontology. There's nobody there to fact check these dinosaurs. I can't independently do any research on my own and go look at these dinosaurs. You can say, oh, yes, you can, but that's not the case. You know that these are all under lock and key. And so when you go to these museums, these natural history museums, and they present you misinformation, it makes me go, how smart are these people when there are dinosaurs that are on display that are incorrect or that have wrong parts? So for me, it's hard for me not to see that that is some sort of manipulation. Now, you can call me an edgelord. I'm not trying to be an edgelord. I'm just telling you that the lies in the way dinosaurs are presented is factually inaccurate. And so, you know, you're going to tell me that every single paleontologist and thousands of years of science makes everything absolutely correct? That's not the case, because there's people in new science and new findings that happen every day that change the old rules and theories of science. So you're going to tell me that there aren't breakthroughs and that science isn't constantly changing? It doesn't matter about the thousands of years before. So like I say, I'm not embarrassed to come here and tell you that the people that started your whole business, paleontology, that you even admitted they were in it for fame, were fraudulent. So these dinosaur bones are not from a T-Rex or a Brontosaurus or Hadrosaurus folkli or whatever taxon or name or whatever they want to give it. It's just inaccurate because the extrapolation process is insane. You cannot look at a femur bone and tell you every single thing about a dinosaur. It's insane. You're telling me I'm the one that's a liar? You're literally looking at bones and you're creating this guy over my shoulder. It makes no sense. You have to have so much creative license. You have to fill in the holes. So my problem is not with the bones you find, it's the holes you fill in. And it's the presentation of these holes are so provably false that it makes it look like a scam. And so when you go to the Natural History Museum and they have a dinosaur and it's mislabeled and it's there up until the 90s, it's all a scam because it's constant. There's nobody to enforce it and keep it credible. So at that moment, it has no integrity. The dinosaur industrial complex has no integrity whatsoever.
Alex has a bone to pick with these bones.
You done yelling? Cool. You keep bringing up Hadrosaur folk.
At Planet Fitness, there's a number of ways to get strong, and they all add up to one membership. The Planet
guy. And how it was like a leg. I already told you it was teeth, spine, legs, arms, pelvis, a whole bunch of different things, and a whole bunch of other fossils of that same type of hadrosaur has been found all over the place. You say science is constantly changing. Well, guess what? All the mistakes that people like Cope and Marsh made about misidentifying things or calling, you know, one dinosaur something else, like, oh, it's a brontosaurus. Well, no, it's actually an apatosaurus. Well, no, it actually turns out to be 3 different kinds of brontosaurus. That's called science. That's called progression. That's what we do. Science is constantly changing. We fix the old mistakes. Paleontology, formal paleontology, and for some reason you keep saying that Cope and Marsh were the founders. They weren't. There were people doing this like Mary Anning and the Mantels and Cuvier and all these, and William Buckland of all people, doing it well before Cope and Marsh. Cope and Marsh are just famous because they were the North American paleontologists that found a whole bunch of dinosaurs. And you're wrong on the 32. I think it was Cope found 56 and Marsh found 80, I think. So you're wrong on those numbers as well. See, that's the thing. You're working from like partial information. That's why you can't be taken seriously, dude. This entire character that you're trying and like throwing out there and like the dinosaur industrial, come on. I mean, yeah, okay, it was funny for a little while, but this is what happens when you start mouthing off. People like me who are actual experts come in and we intellectually beat you down like the child you are.
He thinks he's beating somebody down. That is the funniest part about this.
Being ridiculous, and this continued caricature of what you're doing.
Watch, he's gonna ask Ale Stein to concede the debate or rage quit. Wow.
Is stupid. So again, concede the argument and apologize or rage quit. You have two options.
Listen to this fucking, oh my God.
I'm not going to quit. You can keep saying that. Listen, this isn't, you can keep saying I'm playing a character, but you keep on talking about me. Why can't you just admit there's a fraud and that you want to get mad at me for exposing all the lies about the soft tissue lies, about the Archaeoraptor being multiple dinosaurs presented as a transitional species? You want to get mad at me, but I'm not the one that committed all this fraud. I'm just the one that's exposing it. So you can say, you can attack my personality. I don't want to attack your personality. I just wish you would actually stick to the argument, but you can't. You just keep on telling me I'm a liar, but you don't even sound very accurate or very scientific, to be honest. So, we're just going to sit here and we can just proverbially go back and forth. I love it. I do enjoy the spar. If you're going to talk about my character, I'll sit here all night and go back and forth with you. But I'm telling you, there is so much fraud going on in paleontology that you can't defend it. So you have to come after me, which is fine because you know that it's based on a fraud. So all you can do, all you can do is come after you try to come after my character because you can't defend all the fraudulent stuff like the Archaeoraptor or the soft tissue or the inaccurate dating process that you use for these dinosaurs. You're coming after me because everything you do in your paleontology world is a lie and creative make-believe. And my problem is not with the dinosaur bones. My problem, Trevor, is with the extrapolation process. The reason you guys take a bone and all of a sudden you create every single other part of the dinosaur, that's factually insane. So you can call my character all you want, but you can't defend your arguments.
Well, here's the thing. I already completely defended those arguments and refuted yours. I told you about the dinosaur soft tissue and what it actually is. I asked you directly which radiometric dating is fraudulent. Was it uranium, lead, potassium, argon, lead, rubium, strontium? Which one is it? You don't have an answer. Also, you keep talking about all of this fraud. Well, they're like Archaeoraptor. I already covered that. It was two different dinosaurs put together and then sold by an unscrupulous dealer in Tucson. See, I've already answered all of these, and you keep going back to them like some kind of stupid broken record. You've already been refuted and debunked. And the whole thing is, who found all of that fraud? Paleontologists did. Scientists did. People like you didn't. These bullshit caricatures of conspiracy people did not find this fraud. Science did, because that's science's job. Again, science is the basis of fuck around and find out. And we do all the time. We figure out, oh shit, Brontosaurus isn't real. It's actually a Patasaurus. Oh, nope, that's wrong too, because we're constantly doing the research. That's what you don't understand. That's why you didn't know that Brontosaurus was actually 3 different species that are closely related to Apatosaurus, and that Brontosaurus is actually a valid taxon. You don't know any of that because you haven't bothered to do the actual research. You're just doing this to get clicks.
Well, you just look at...
Well, what about what the Scientific American has to say? Fucking paleontology littered with fake fossils. That it sounds like it's from InfoWars. I'll give you that, but it's Scientific American.
Look at dinosaurs for your job. And with all due respect, on Joe Rogan, didn't you say you're behind on your car payment? So you're probably not making that much money doing the paleontology. You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck. Here we go. Alex, take the gloves off, bro. Take them off.
And so you're obviously not very high in your job or high earning.
Trevor wish he got the $72 Alex Stein earned that night on just the pre-show alone.
In your job, which is fine. But I'm just saying, the paleontology, you just admitted that it was built on a fraud, and now all these paleontologists have to correct it. So that's my problem, is the fraud. It was built on all this fraud. And I keep saying this. Explain to me, this is my question for you, Mr. Paleontologist, Mr. Super Smart Man. This is my question that I can see. How can you take one tooth or one dinosaur bone and extrapolate the entire thing and tell you what its body temperature was, what its diet was, whether it had a penis, how many nipples it had, and whether it was bipedal or walked on 4s? How can you look at one bone and tell me all that? Can you explain that process for me, Mr. Paleontologist?
Sure. Number one, by the way, who's winning the bet from your pre-show? How many times was Rogan mentioned? Because I didn't mention it. You did. That's 4-year-old data, by the way, that you're working with. Almost 5-year-old now. So yeah.
He tricked you into mentioning Rogan. So you mentioned Rogan. He tricked you. He tricked you, Trevor.
And that's the thing. Paleontology doesn't make a lot of money, so that completely refutes your argument. But here, let me give you an example. What's this? Do you know what this is? This is a woolly mammoth tooth. How do we know that mammoths and elephants are related? Well, it's looking at analogs. It's looking at this tooth material, for example, seeing that it's in a dental battery. It's these series of tooth plates. And then if you look at Asian and African elephants, you can see that they're closely related. You can do things like, look at this bone. You have no fucking concept of what this is. I do, because I have comparative anatomy that I can use. I can compare this to modern day examples. And then I can tell you that, hey, this looks a lot like a quadruped because of the width of it and because of how the proximal distal ends are. And oh, this actually turns out to be a fossil horse toe. And we can do that. So that, like you keep saying, you keep bringing up Trachodon, for example. We compared that tooth, we being paleontology, we compared that tooth to other teeth we found. And oh, look, it looks like a hadrosaur. Or now it looks like a lambeosaur. It's called comparative anatomy, where actually most of paleontology started. It didn't start with paleontologists. It started with anatomists, because they're doing things like finding stuff, like proximal.
Bro, okay, so again, I'm not a paleontologist, obviously. I'm also just another fucking loser trying to get clicks here. So he's got me there. But no, to say, I don't know what percentage of so Alex is mentioning certain fossils that they only found like a couple bones or something, and then extrapolate and say the thing was fucking 10 foot tall and you know, had scales and a big boner, little arms. I mean, like I don't know if comparing a mammoth bone or a mammoth tooth, if you only had the tooth and then you said, oh, this looks similar to an elephant tooth, that wouldn't actually tell you that the thing looked like an elephant, right?
Or sorry, I shouldn't use technical terms with somebody like you. Lower ends of femurs, of thigh bones. And they're thinking, oh, wow, that's probably from some biblical giant. Well, because it looks like the end of a femur. It looks like the end of a thigh bone. Comparative anatomy is very simple. I know this is a tooth. Why? Because it has enamel and dentin and cementum and roots and a chewing surface. It has all of those. That's why I know that that's a tooth. Trying to figure out what it's from, you then have to go through and compare. That's what science is and what paleontology does. And just because somebody got something wrong before doesn't mean it was fraud. It means we didn't know then. And here's the biggest and best.
Well, wait, hold on. Trevor, are you seriously saying it's not fraud to paint a rock and tell people that that's soft tissue of a ancient dinosaur? That was just a mistake, right? That's not fraud.
Best question that I have for you, Alex. If they aren't dinosaurs, what are they?
You didn't answer my question, though. What are these bones that we find? They could be big lizards, Komodo dragon. So to answer your question, these are animals that there's nothing new under the sun, in my opinion. So I don't believe that these are the dinosaurs that you present. But you said comparative bone structures. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the extrapolation process. How do you get a bone, and how can you tell me from that bone what the animal's body temperature was? How could you tell me that its diet? And you're going to say the tooth cuts this way. I think you said that a tooth cuts, you can tell that it's meant to cut a throat. But how can you extrapolate? Explain that? I'm just serious. I mean this in all due respect. How do you take a dinosaur bone and then create whether it had feathers or not, whether what color its skin was? How would you know from a bone what color a dinosaur's eyeball is?
Well, it's really simple. Look at this tooth, for example. Do you see how it's flat and grindy? That means it probably ate plants. Is it sharp and pointed? Well, that means it probably ate meat. It's very simple. Have you looked at
You're doing a lot of work with the word probably. That's doing a lot of work.
Your own teeth? Have you seen that they're a mixture of both pointy shearing things and flat grindy things? It means you're an omnivore and able to eat both plants and meat. We can look and see that they had feathers because of the actual attachment points on the ulna, on the arm bones. We can see that. We can see that they're related to birds and that birds are in fact dinosaurs because of, again, comparative anatomy and why T-Rexes have keel bones and have various morphologies, like the theropod or beast foot that they're named after. Looks like a big chicken. You said that they could be a big Komodo dragon. I've actually seen Komodo dragons. I studied them as a biologist. You find me a Komodo dragon that's 40 feet long and weighs about 7 tons, then you can say, oh, it was from a big lizard. Well, yes, actually, they were from big lizards. They were from very large reptiles. We call those large reptiles, as coined by Sir Richard Owen, dinosaurs or terrifying lizards. Terrifying not meaning scary, but terrifying meaning large and majestic.
Oh, fuck. Dark Match Gene. Bro has a fossilized piece of lizard shit in his bedroom just to pull out in debates. He has never had a woman in that room. That's probably true. I've never had a woman in my room, except for my mom, though. So, you got me there. You're hurting my feeling. You're roasting me too, bro. Come on, easy.
So what we can do is we can extrapolate that information by comparing it to other things. A saber-toothed cat, for example. We knew it had a bob tail, so we know it wouldn't run like a cheetah would, because long tails are for running, short tails are for ambush. What kind of environment did it live in? Oh, it lived in riparian forested areas all over North America, so it probably had a tawny or spotted coat, kind of like bobcats or pumas. We can use modern animals to unlock the ideas of what old ones looked like. But here's the thing, paleoartistry is a totally different thing than paleontology. We find the bones, or in some cases, mummified dinosaurs like Leonardo or the ankylosaur in Alberta. You want to know what a dinosaur looked like? You look at that one. We know how its skin was formed. We find skin impressions, scale impressions, feather impressions. There's so much to paleontology that you don't know that you're basing this character on that it's kind of laughable. I mean, all you're doing is embarrassing yourself.
No, is it my turn to talk? Yeah.
If
my
you
main
want.
question, just answer this question though.
I just did.
No, you didn't answer the question. How can you tell the color of an eye or how many eyes it has, or the color of its eye, by looking at a bone?
Oh,
because no, I'll tell you why. Because
how many eyes it has?
No,
right.
you compare it with a modern animal.
How many eye sockets does this
You need
Tyrannosaur
modern animals for your lie. If you didn't have these animals to compare it to, you wouldn't even know what you're looking at. So you're basing all your data, you even admitted, on modern animals, proving that it's a lie. That just shows you're using modern day animals to figure out the current dinosaurs you're looking at to extrapolate this. Oh, this looks like a lizard, so that means it's 65 million years. Dude, that doesn't make it true. You're using modern animals to extrapolate these dinosaurs. You just admitted that, proving that it's a fraud. You can't look at a bone and then look at a modern day animal and to tell me exactly what that dinosaur looked like. So when you look at this paleo artistry and you go into the museums, there's so much paleo artistry that's fake, that's presented as real. That's my problem. My problem is with the fraud. And you admitted that the paleontology industry is rife with fraud. So, and you admit that they need modern animals.
And Scientific American admits this. Rife with fraud.
In order to classify these old ones, it just shows you these animals aren't old, dude. It just proves you right there. They're not 65 million years old. Comparing it to a modern day animal, you need that modern day animal to be able to tell what it is. So that just shows you wouldn't even know what it was if we didn't have it. So ipso facto, you need modern day animals. These are modern day animals, bud.
That's not at all what I'm saying. And also, that's not how you use ipso facto. See, you're saying since we use modern animals to figure out what bones are what, therefore, dinosaurs are modern. That's a horrible fallacy that you just did. And that's not what I said at all. We compare them. It's called comparative anatomy. So I know this is a tooth because of how it's structured, because I have looked at modern teeth. I know that this is a chewing surface because I've looked at modern teeth. That doesn't mean this is a modern animal. We look at dinosaur teeth and figure out, oh, these are formed in a dental battery and they're flat and grindy, so they're herbivores. Oh, these are very large banana-sized steak knives with serrations on them that are made to destroy flesh, so it's a meat eater. That's really simple. As it comes to eye color, that's artist interpretation. That's all that is. How many eyes does it have? We count the holes in the skull where the eyes would be. It's real simple. And how do we figure that out? Because we look at modern animals and we figure, well, if it's a reptile or a mammal and they have binocular vision, they have 2 eyes. Just like you do, just like I do. If you look at a human skull, would you be able to figure out how many eyes it does? But interesting point on that. If you don't know what you're looking at, you kind of just figure it out. That's why mastodon fossils were thought to be cyclopses, because there's no bones in a trunk. The large nasal opening in the front, they thought was one giant eye socket. Thus, the cyclops was born, because mastodons don't have flat, grindy teeth like mammoths do. They have pointed teeth, mastodon or nipple tooth. They have crowned teeth that look a lot like human teeth. So somebody that doesn't realize what they're looking at decides, wow, this must have been a giant human with one eye. But later on, science comes along and fixes that. That's not fraud. That's just being wrong. You need there to be fraud, like some ulterior motive for your entire narrative to work. But that's because
there is fraud. There is fucking fraud. Jesus Christ. Guys, we just looked this up. This is funny. Like, this guy, the only way that he's confronted the fraud issue, he just concedes by saying, oh, well, there's fraud, but we only know there's fraud because paleontologists found the fraud. But they also committed the fraud.
We have a classic misunderstanding of science. Science questions itself. We figure shit out. That's what we do. We look back and go, that's not a cyclops, it's a mastodon. Because we know what mastodons are now, because we found more of them. That's what you fail to realize. There isn't just one.
Is that true? Scott Starboard, there's never been a giant dinosaur skull ever found, ever. Oh, Franklin Hawks is up in here. And Sniz, what's up, Sniz? How's it going? Alex Stein, lizards going on the lizard internet trolling other fat lizard dudes. This has all happened before, guys, except we were lizards.
Hadrosaurus fulci. We found a lot more since. There isn't just one Archaeopteryx. We've found a lot more since. There isn't just one feathered dinosaur. We've found a lot more since. You're trying to take 1800s science and apply it to 2020 when there's a whole bunch of shit that happened between then and now. For example, the whole Brontosaurus thing in 2015, which you were blissfully unaware of.
Well, the Brontosaurus is actually not a real dinosaur. And then some paleontologists in 2015 actually said now the Brontosaurus is 3 different types of dinosaurs. So I do know a little bit about that, but I did look into that. But basically, it just comes down to what you said earlier. They tell the eyes by artist interpretation. So that's my problem is there's too much artist interpretation. I know, but so your whole industry is based on artist interpretation. And that's my problem. It's like watching Jurassic Park. You present these as a fact. Like you present this T-Rex like it's a fact, and it's just not because they have to take this artist interpretation because they don't even know what color eyes it is. You just admitted that you can't tell me what color an animal's eyes is, and that is artist interpretation. So you're going to tell me that you can tell me every single other thing about this dinosaur that you can't tell me the color of its eyes. That means that everything you just said is a fraud because you should be able to tell everything about the dinosaur, but you can't. So you don't have anything to compare it to. So you're wrong. You have to use artist interpretation to tell me the color of an eye. So that means you can't extrapolate this information from the current data set that you're using, from the bones you're using. So you have to use what is called, like you said exactly, artist interpretation. So that's my problem with the dinosaur lie is there's too much artist interpretation. I'm not here to see an artist. I'm here to see factual stuff. I'm here to, I really want to know what the dinosaur looks like. I don't want to know what some artist interpretation is of the dinosaur. So you just admitted, you can say you won this debate, but you admit that you can't tell me what color a dinosaur's eye is, and that is artist interpretation. So that's my problem, is that when you go to the museum, you're looking at a fraud. You're looking at too much artist interpretation. And because of that, that makes the dinosaur and paleontology world a fraud when it comes to dinosaur bones. Now, are you looking at old bones from old animals that are here today, that are in our lifetime? Yes. And you say that I'm using 1800 science. So you're saying in the past 200 years, we figured out all this stuff about dinosaur. We just got it all figured out in 200 years, even though the Earth is, 1 million years old. In the past 200 years, we figured out all the dinosaurs have this. It's just absurd. And I just have to admit, you lost the debate. You added that there's artistic interpretation, and you can't extrapolate how you take a tooth and tell me the color of its eye, proving that it's fake.
No, that's not it at all. You're having some weird mental breakdown between paleo artistry and actual science. We don't care what the color of the eye is because the color of the eye is immaterial. However, when you find skin impressions that have colored bands that have been mineralized, well, then you know what the color of the dinosaur was. Or when you find spectral analysis of dinosaur feathers and you figure out what the color of the dinosaur was. See, those are things you don't know about. But what color the eye is, I can't tell you what color a dinosaur eye is. Therefore, paleontology is fake. How many straws are you grasping for, bud? That's the most ridiculous, fake argument of this whole fake topic to begin with. I mean, that's completely asinine. Just because I can't say a Tyrannosaur's eye is brown. No, but what we can do is we can take casts of their brain cavity and tell you that their visual cortex is so large they can see in the fucking dark and track movement like there's no tomorrow. You also bring up Jurassic Park. You realize Jurassic Park is completely lambasted by paleontological. No, you don't, because you don't know anything about paleontology. We enjoy it for the fun. And all of us go, there should be more feathers on those raptors, and those aren't velociraptors because they're too big. You have no concept of what you're speaking of, man. You have zero idea on the topic. And
Okay, so I'm clicking around Scott Starboard. I was just, because I never heard somebody say that no full skull has ever been found. And, you know, I've been to museums when I was a little kid. And so, I don't know, I felt like I've seen some. But, so here's National Park Service. Let's just take a peek at this. Why dinosaur skulls are rare. So let's see, is this a full skull, or is half of this made of fucking plaster and all they found was some teeth? This intact skull from the predatory dinosaur Allosaurus fragilis is one of several skulls that were preserved in the historic Carnegie Quarry. Notice how thin the bones connecting the skull are. Of the fossils uncovered, skulls are easily one of the rarest body parts to find. Unlike leg and arm bones, skulls are hollow and have many holes in them. In life, these holes are filled with soft tissue like brains, eyeballs, tongues, and sinuses. In order to make room for these vital structures, the bones that hold the skull together have to be thin. Unfortunately, this delicate structure makes skulls fragile. They're often easily crushed during the fossilization process, similar to a soda can getting stepped on. This makes them more rare to find than thicker, sturdier bones like femurs, which are solid to support the body in life. Preservation bias. How many skulls were found? Okay. In total, paleontologists uncovered a whopping 14. Oh, wow. That's so many. 14 dinosaur skulls during the initial Carnegie Quarry excavations between 1909 and 24. More skulls were found when the remains of the Carnegie Quarry, now the Wall of Bones, were excavated between the 50s and 90s. 2 skulls from both the Camarasaurus remain on the wall today. Also housed in the Quarry exhibit hall is a nearly complete skull of a predatory dinosaur, Allosaurus fragilis. So I guess, but they're not saying. Okay, so Scott, to your credit, okay, yeah, I'm just seeing your. Okay, every single dinosaur skeleton is 99% fake bones with one tiny real bone the size of a femur. So, to your credit, what they're saying here, I mean, you said complete skull. And here they're bragging that the Quarry exhibit hall, housed in the Quarry exhibit hall, is a nearly complete skull of the predatory dinosaur Allosaurus fragilis. The way I'm taking this is that most of these skulls they found aren't complete. Because they're bragging about one that's nearly complete. But guys, I'm not saying I think dinosaurs are fake. I don't know. This isn't something I've ever looked into. I just thought this debate was really funny. And this guy, the fatty, was butthurt the whole time. All right, let's get back to it. I think they're almost done. The Q&A should be coming up in a minute.
And no, Brontosaurus wasn't fake, and then we decided to make it 3 different species. It was a species. Then someone said, hey, look, that looks a lot like a Apatosaurus. So we should rename it Apatosaur and lump them together because they look alike. Why? Because we compared them. Oh, but then we compared all of them, every single one that's been found, and realized, no, there's actually Apatosaurs and 3 different species of Brontosaurs. So everything was right the first time. It's a self-checking thing. We do our own checksum. That's what science does. That's when you have something like I don't know, the theory of gravity. And then all of a sudden, gravitational lensing is discovered. And then all of a sudden, gravitational waves are discovered because we're constantly finding shit. And yeah, we have found out a whole lot in the last 200 years of paleontology.
We're going to jump into the Q&A, as we do have a lot of questions that have come in. So this conversation has been a super interesting one. I am so grateful that it's gone so smoothly. And we are going to start with none other than Kakarot. Thanks for your question. Said, Trevor, would you rather debate Eric Dubé or Kent Hovind?
Neither. I challenge Eric Dubé to countless debates, and he's always chickened out because he's a chicken shit. And Kent Hovind is just basically another Gish galloping jackass like Alex here. I mean, Alex has undoubtedly seen Dwayne Gish and Kent Hovind and all that. Yeah, I mean, both of them are completely useless. Kent Hovind is just doing it to regain his, some kind of weird notoriety that he used to have. And Eric Dubé is a absolute fraud that fled the United States and moved to Thailand and is shacking up with the girlfriend of a junta general. And he's all against the military-industrial complex and Freemasons, even though he's from a Freemason family.
Is that true?
That's an entirely different thing. What?
Trevor, I didn't know that. Wait, go back into that. Wait, tell me about Eric Dubé. I didn't know.
Eric Dubé is a complete fraud. He's also a grifter. He's like the original grifter, except he started out with flat Earth and all that, and then he went to
he's married to some military person. What is that? Wait,
his girlfriend or his wife. I'm not sure if they're married or not yet. You know how he's always like anti-government, anti-military, all that? He lives on a military base, and his girlfriend or wife is the daughter of a Thai general, part of the whole military coup thing that went on there. Yeah, and this is stuff that he doesn't want to be put out in public, but everybody knows. I'm just not afraid to say it because I got nothing to lose. But yeah, I would rather debate neither of them because it's a big fucking waste of time. I just came on this one to tell you all that it's a big fucking waste of time and that this whole dino denier bullshit is just that. It was a hoaxy bullshit that started in 2015 and now it went viral and people are running with it to make money and for notoriety. And by the way, just to really recap, there was one point I was going to make with the whole 200 years paleontology thing. We've only had powered flight since 1903 and we landed on the moon in 1969. Science can work really fucking fast when it wants to.
Gotcha.
Science or Alex doesn't think we landed on the moon either, buddy. So yeah, there's that.
So much. So no preference. Then
yeah, don't care.
That's super interesting. Let's see.
Jackasses.
Next up, Decepticons Forever. Thanks for your question. Said CC can learn, namely Conspiracy Castle or Alex can learn all about bones now that he can examine his very own skeleton after Trevor tore the bones out of his body, Mortal Kombat style fatality.
Finish him.
I disagree.
Next up, Rodent last name. Thank you for your question. Said Alex, did your mummy replace your cornflakes with lead paint chips? An old.
I did eat a little bit of lead paint as a kid. I liked Chris Farley, so he said he ate lead paint, so I tried it. Yeah, I've had lead paint as a kid.
Any Tommy Boy reference is good here. And thanks Twood Wazzle for your question. Said, go Alex, let's burn all the dinosaur bones. Are you in?
Well, I don't want to burn the bones. I don't want to do that. No.
Wow, you've inspired someone. Okay, next up, thanks for your question. Eric Sinclair, who says, Alex, do you believe that
let's burn these bones, guys,
intercourse leads to children, or are you a stork theorist?
Well, I mean, you can have sex and not have children, so I don't know what they're even. I mean, you can have a condom, you can have birth control. So yeah, I believe babies are made by having sex. Yeah, I mean, that's a stupid.
Not a one-to-one correspondence, though. And so.
Join us for the News Channel 8 Outdoors Expo and Boat Show, March 28th through the 30th at Armature Works. From fishing.
Ain't nobody going to this.
Holy Dio Gloria, thanks for your question. Said, question for Alex, if you found a complete T-Rex fossil, would you want to raise a 1,000-number skull 20 feet into the air, anchored to a metal pole, knowing how rare it is? I would not. I don't understand the question.
They're saying if you found a complete skeleton or nearly complete skeleton, for example, like Sue in the Field Museum, when you have a near priceless 600-pound fragile skull, you don't want to stick it on a pole 20 feet off the ground. You'd rather take a cast of it, again, a copy, and put that on the mount rather than the skull itself. And Sue's skull was in so many pieces that had to be reassembled anyway. It's too fragile to mount on the mount itself. That's what they were referencing.
Your mic, James. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Thanks so much. Appreciate that. And I'm sorry, Wilson says, I bet James thinks Eric Dubé is dumb too. I don't know the fellow, but based on Trevor, I'm not sure about this fellow. And let's see, Fox Mulder, thanks for your question, said, stop believing the lies, Trevor. Your ego is disgusting. They say, you've got a critic here, Trevor. They say, stop believing the lies.
I'm sorry I make you jealous. simply because I actually have a concept of this topic.
Next up, thanks for your question. Twid Wazzle. Oh, no, that was the bone burner. Next up, thanks for your question. This is from Jamie Russell, who says, for Trevor, Triceratops equals Torosaurus? Same species?
No. So here's something you can learn, Alex.
Is it more dino fraud? Is it dino fraud? More dino fraud?
You're going to call it fraud because you don't know how science works.
Tell me about it, please. I'm interested. I love to hear the dino fraud.
So a Triceratops is, three-horned face. It's the ceratopsian, the vegetarian dino we know by its teeth, that has the three horns and the frill on its back. Torosaurus is also a horned dinosaur, or ceratopsian. And there's one, maybe two paleontologists out there that are saying that Torosaurus is the adult not Tyrannosaur, that Torosaurus is the adult Triceratops. That's because we have found, not because it's fraud, but because we've done more research and found more examples of it. There are dinosaurs that are growth stages of the same species, like Pachycephalosaurus and Dracorex and stuff like that. It turns out that the small spiky-headed one and the not really spiky, but more dome-headed one.
Yeah, so I think what he's talking about here, I did hear about this, that initially, I don't know if they've gone back and forth apparently on some of these species and stuff like that, but they say there are actually less species of dinosaurs that we actually know about than we initially thought, because some of these dinosaurs, they'll find a smaller one, a medium size, and a bigger one, and they'll think it's different species, but there's different growth phases where, one of them will have like a spike on its head, and then when it gets to an adult, like as a baby, it has a spike, but when it gets to an adult, it ends up being like a hard dome type of thing, one of those dinosaurs, I forget. But yeah, I have heard about this. We know less species than we thought, because they're actually, what we thought were different species are actually different ages of dinosaurs in different, stages of growth.
Are actually the same species in different stages of growth. So naturally, these same paleontologists decided to go throughout, and they saw that the Torosaurus was large and kind of shaped like a Triceratops. But the problem with that is we have found juvenile and young adult Torosauruses, and we found juvenile, young adult, and adult Triceratops, and their areas don't exactly overlap. So no, Torosaurus is not a adult Triceratops. Triceratops horridius is its own thing, and Torosaurus is its own thing. There's a whole bunch of different ceratopsians. Diabloceratops, Utahceratops, which I actually helped excavate. There's so many. I just kind of lock up when I start thinking about them. But ceratopsians, there's a whole lot of them. My personal favorite is Styracosaurus and Pentaceratops. They're really huge, either spiky or really, really big frills. But again, no, Torosaurus is not Triceratops.
Gotcha. And thanks for that. That's really interesting. And rodent last name. Oh, you've got a critic here, Alex. They say, Alex, do you grift for a living or only as a hobby?
No answer.
Next. All right, next. Thanks for your question. Daver says, elephants can't be any larger than they are. The skeletal structure won't support any larger. So then how can a dinosaur twice the size of an elephant exist without collapsing on its own weight?
He's trying to talk about the square cube law, which is actually really, really good. The thing with elephants and mammoths and all that, that's not as large as an elephant can get. That's as large as that species can get, but there were much larger mammoths, like the steppe mammoth, than that during the Ice Age. I think steppe mammoth, I think, is don't quote me, maybe 1 million years, 1.5 million, 1.3 maybe. Anyway, the thing with that is why are they larger? I mean, for example, like a tyrannosaur, you're talking like 42 feet long, 7 to 9 tons. Well, their bones were hollow, so you don't have the weight of a mammalian bone, for example, like on a mammoth or an elephant. If your bones are hollow, the hollow, not like there's a complete hole in them. It's not like hollow, but they have honeycomb structure like modern birds, because birds are dinosaurs. With that, as long as you have a large enough area for muscle attachments, your bones are not incredibly heavy, and all, you can get very, very, very large. Look at whales, for example. Whales, they're buoyant, and the blue whale is the largest animal to exist, period. Like, they have a heart the size of a 1979 Volkswagen Super Beetle. I mean, they're huge. But
but that's good. They're in water. Their body doesn't have to, like, that's not the same as an animal that's on land with all of their body having to support the weight of itself.
The square cube law is sometimes misinterpreted on that. Dinosaurs absolutely could be that large simply because their anatomy allows it.
Super interesting. Thanks so much. And Rodent, no last name, says, Trevor, you got, let's see, what does this say? I don't know what crits is. Is this a slang that the young kids use? They say, Trevor, you got +5 intelligence, +3 to charisma, and are rolling naturally 20 crits tonight.
That's a D&D reference. Rolling a crit, for example, I've got a die right here. Rolling a crit is rolling a 20 on a 20-sided die to hit.
Gotcha.
So yeah, usually crits.
That makes sense if you play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, you're into paleontology, so you love it. You really love dragons. That makes sense. You have a really creative mind.
Well, that's because dragons.
Hold on, I do want to hear you defining crits, Alex. Hold on a second.
Yeah, well, dragons are just dinosaurs being described by an ancient civilization. That's all what a dragon is. So yeah, but the thing is, I wasn't into dinosaurs when I was a kid. I wanted to fly the space shuttle. I fell into paleontology, man. Yeah, I didn't. Paleontology chose me. I didn't choose it. So your whole thing of, like, in it for the money, yeah, that doesn't pan out.
Well, we know you don't have any money. You can't pay your car.
We do have to move on to the next one. We do have a lot of other questions.
Whatever happened with that car?
Hold on a second. Simmer down over there. I'm sorry, Wilson. Thanks for your question. They're complimenting. We might have a nice one for you, Alex. I mean, I don't know. It's theoretically possible. We have. I'm sorry, Wilson. Thanks for your question. Says, don't move. Alex can't see you if you don't move. Thanks. Nice Jurassic Park.
See, that's my question is, how can you tell me how a dinosaur sees that if you move, it can only see if you move, but you can't tell me the color of its eye. You can tell me how the eye works, but you can't tell me it's the color of it. That's how you know it's a fraud, Trevor. It's all fake.
Because we can take a cast of its brain cavity and see the size of its visual cortex. But
you can tell its visual cortex from
hold
the
on,
cast.
Alex. I do want to hear the full answer before we interrupt.
It's easy when you have a hole in the skull where your brain is. And I actually just recently got an MRI and a series of scans and all that because brain cancer. But when you take a cast of the interior of a skull, you can actually see, you won't necessarily get like all the folds and everything of the brain, but you can see.
This is the brain cancer talking right now. Is this guy still alive? He just said he had brain cancer.
Shut up. You can see where all of the different parts of the brain are. For example, like the hippocampus, the visual cortex, prefrontal lobes, all of that. If you actually did take a semester of pre-med, you should know all this. So you can see how large the visual cortex would be. You can see where the channels for the optic nerve would be and how large
how
they
do you
are.
tell the visual cortex from the amygdala from the
Hold
left
on,
side?
before we have other questions, Alex. So we had the conversation. We do have other questions from the audience that I do want to quick get to yet.
Man, let them, come on, moderator. Let them fucking hash this out a bit. This is good questioning. So Alex is wondering, this is actually a good question. Now, it takes quite a bit of skepticism. Look, this is the thing. He's doing a lot of extrapolating and stuff, and I guess it's not too sloppy, but he's saying, and if you look at the shape of the brain cavity of the skull, I imagine there are parts, if you look at a chicken's brain or a lizard's brain, whatever, today, and you look at the inside of the skull, you can kind of tell where the front of the brain and different parts sort of have its own space inside the skull. Like if it's a part of the brain that's touching the actual skull shape, then it's probably there is a shape within the skull that, you can tell the characterization of that part of the brain or whatever. The shape of the skull actually is, fits somewhat like a glove for the brain so that you could tell where the different parts are. The thing is where this gets sloppy, well, not really sloppy, because I'm sure, it's like every expert would disagree with me here that it's sloppy, but I mean, is it not? I guess I don't know as much about anatomy and stuff, but is it not a bit of a stretch to say you're looking at animals that existed millions of years ago, right? And you're for sure that because you look at a chicken today and the visual cortex is here and the frontal lobe that controls this is here, that is necessarily what that part of the brain was for back a million years ago? Is that actually like, is that, I don't know. That just seems a little bit like you're doing a lot of guesswork there.
I can't help it.
We can tell how big a visual cortex is and what that would do and how it would function. But what color the eyes are, you keep going back to this.
Because you don't know it. Because you don't know it yet.
Because eyes don't fossilize, you dumbass.
You're telling me
Okay,
you know
so
everything about the
you heard a response, Trevor.
but
We
you can't
don't
tell me
have
if it has blue eyes.
Alex,
You're a
we don't
liar.
have time to go into another discussion. We do have other questions. I do have to ask, as you mentioned it, like, do you know the results of, like, are you currently going to the doctor for potential brain cancer?
I've thankfully, thanks to friends, I have re-upped my insurance, and I'm should have I think scheduled for January. I almost said July. January for the biopsy and the tree panning, which is really funny. I've always wanted to go through tree panning, which is drilling a hole in one's skull. I think that's happening in January. I've got one more series of scans for that. And in a completely unrelated note, like my insurance dropped me and all that thanks to COVID. And that's a whole lot of fun. So I've my friends set me up, much to my chagrin. Actually, I didn't want them to do it, but they did it anyway. They set me up with a GoFundMe that's going okay. I think we're like halfway there. Haven't looked at it in a while. Yeah.
Folks, I don't know. Forgive me if I don't mean to like put you on the spot, but folks, I'm going to look for that GoFundMe link so I can put it in the description. As I hope you don't mind me doing that, Trevor. I know you didn't ask for it, but it's something
it's okay if you want to do that. Go for it. I think I have a link for it on my Twitter.
I'm already typing it in just because we do want that, and that's one thing. As a reminder, folks,
this guy just said he's excited to have a hole drilled into his brain.
Is that we hope you consider going to this GoFundMe link, and as I promise, I will go there after this debate to be able to give my gift of, well, both of
Elon Musk has entered the chat.
Thanks for coming on, and also just a general gift of.
And I'm telling you, you really don't have to. It's not something that I was aiming for. So, but I have a very small core group of friends that were sick of me refusing any kind of help because I'm just not that kind of guy. And they set it up anyway and set me up all that. And I'm just kind of like, all right, fine.
I had no idea. What we were going to do is we will donate 100% of the super chats from tonight's debate to your GoFundMe. No, I'm dead serious. So, folks, hold us to that. We want to be accountable. You'll
I'll
see.
Hold you to it, James. I'll hold you to it. We want to be able to pay for that hole they're about to put in your brain. I want to be able to make sure it gets paid for.
We will. I'm dead serious about that. So, folks, you can hold us accountable. We just lost Alex. Did Alex just? I don't know if his connection just went out, but I know you're not asking it. You're not asking for it. I'm dead serious about that. And folks, I would suggest at this point we don't have a lot of time for extra questions. And basically, I would suggest I'm going to put that link for the GoFundMe.
There he is.
Okay.
I didn't mean to leave. I tried to change the browser and I exited. So.
But I'm putting a link in the chat right now. And so sorry, Trevor, if this is like, just please allow me. So what I'm doing, I'm putting
it's your YouTube channel.
Thanks for your patience with me. And so basically, I'm putting it both in the live chat right now and in the description. And so I want you folks, please do, folks, go to this GoFundMe, and we're going to wrap up shortly. We've got a few questions yet, but like I said, we're going to give 100% of the super chats from tonight. And so we do check on the donors list for accountability purposes. You can always ask us for receipts on donations, folks in the audience, and speakers too, because we do want to have like full transparency. If we say we're going to do something, then we obviously have to do it. We have to be open to people asking like, hey, can I see the receipt? It's like, yeah, like even if it's your first time here. So that link to go fund me is in the description, folks. And thanks so much. What I'm going to do is
I appreciate that, but thanks.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Well, Modern Day Debate is here for you. And so, I hope that everything goes smooth with the stream. And I'm glad your friends have pulled together and taken action for you. So that's it sounds like you've got great friends. And so we hope it's going smooth. And I will jump to the next question. So this one comes in from Q says, tell Trevor, I'm not making this up. This is actually like Shannon Q. I only say that because of the timing. Shannon Q says,
the senators.
Tell Trevor, I love him, please. Thanks for that, Shannon. And Tioga, who says, I love Trevor too. So you've got support out there. And that was even before mentioning the GoFundMe or anything. So
Shannon Q is a great person, I have to say, even though she has horrible taste in hockey teams.
That doesn't surprise me. So, but yeah, no, she's been a huge help to us. So we do really appreciate Shannon. And so, Igwe Himawari, let me know if I mispronounced that, says, Trevor, does paleontology have any predictive power or general utility for the foreseeable future of the human species?
No, because paleontology, we like to say that paleontologists don't dig people. That would be anthropology. But no, paleontology, while we can use things like paleoclimatology and things like that to get an idea of how the Earth reacted in the past and how things like the Chicxulub impactor, damaged the planet and things like that, we don't necessarily. The only thing we use for any kind of predictive ability, which makes it a hard science, much to creationist chagrin, is we look at different animals throughout the fossil record and try and figure out where a transitive species would be in the middle of it. That's, for example, how we found Tiktaalik. We're like, okay, there are lobe-fin fishes here, and there are things walking on Earth on land here. So if you look right here, we should find, oh, look, there's Tiktaalik. But we don't make any predictions or anything for humans in the future. We like to say that learning about the history creates keys that open doors to the future, but that's mainly to figure out like how animal evolution will happen, or how the climate will shift, or how it is, or looking at the history of the climate and seeing how we're impacting it so greatly. That's what we do, but we don't make calls with humans. It's not our gig.
Gotcha. And so, folks, I thanks so much for all of those super chats. Like I said, we will make good on that promise. Want to encourage you. I have put pinned the GoFundMe link so you can give directly to GoFundMe. That's in the live chat right now. We don't have enough time to read. We're going to try to read through as many of these as quick as we can, just because we do want to respect the time of the debaters. So let me keep moving through. This one comes in from.
I just got a dragon miniature to paint. That's all.
You got it. And then Mike Villar says, good point, Alex. How do we in fact know that Sue's name is actually Sue? Artist interpretation. Fraud.
Oh, God. Sue was named after the discovery.
I do want to wait.
I just want to ask this question, Trevor.
No, hold on. 1 second. Alex, for real, we do want to respect time. Like, it's already, we're on close to an hour and a half, and so I do really want to get through this quick.
Well, it's just a quick question.
I don't want guys to be here all night. So
just go ahead.
Let's give Trevor an answer, or a chance to give an answer.
Well, no, Sue's just named after the discoverer. That's what Sue's name is. The person that finds it.
That was a question for Alex.
Usually gets to name it, or the person that describes it gets to name it binomially, or anything like that. Sue is just a placeholder name for a Tyrannosaurus Rex specimen of a currently unknown gender. Was thought to be female, maybe male, not entirely sure. We're just calling it Sue.
Gotcha. Thanks so much. And
yeah, but there are infinite genders now, so we have no idea what it identified as. So there's another wrench in your spokes there, buddy.
Next up, thanks so much for your question. This one comes in from let's see, Tioga, who says, Alex, is the tie real or a clip-on?
It's real. It's real.
Next, Tripper Liquor says, for Trevor, respect for Alex, loosen your tie, young man. And then thanks for your question from, let's see.
Yeah, go Polos, man. It's way of the future.
I'm afraid I'm a hockey jersey, Trevor. I wanted you to wear the hockey jersey.
No, people in your chat wanted me to wear a hockey jersey, and they wanted you to make fun of me wearing a hockey jersey.
I wouldn't make fun of you. I like sports. You can like sports. I don't care if you like sports.
Well, you don't like sports. You like the Cowboys.
I know. They suck dick. I agree with that. They suck. Don't get me started, Trevor. They suck.
This guy watched all of Alex Stein's pre-debate show where they were talking shit about him. They said, we want you to make fun of Trevor for wearing a jersey. And then he went and took off his jersey and put a fucking polo on.
Next up, thanks for your question. This one comes in from Kotu Metal. It says, for Alex, do you believe every non-dinosaur fossil is fake too? Which fossils, if any, do you believe are real?
No, it's just, for me, basically what it comes down to is I get that there's these old bones, but it's like, even if you look at the T-Rex skeleton without the long legs, it basically looks like a huge long iguana, basically. So yes, I get that there's iguanas today, and these are ancient creatures, but that they're 65 million years old. Okay, any sort of radiometric dating, all metric dating, all of that technology for me is inaccurate, because when they send off these bones, if they don't specify that they're dinosaur bones, they've come back and they've only dated them at 10,000 and 12,000 years old. And people have actually gotten in trouble for not labeling these samples when they send it to a lab as dinosaur bones.
Young Earth creationists attempted to do that, specifically the RATE team, and they sent them to be carbon dated, knowing that they would come back with a fraudulent number. They did not send them to be uranium dated or strontium dated or rubidium dated or argon dated. They specifically sent them to be carbon dated, which would kick back an incorrect number. Same with your whole lava thing from Mount St. Helens. That's a known fraudulent tactic.
But wait, why would the carbon dating give them a date? I guess there's some carbon unrelated to the bones. That's weird.
Of the rate team of the Creation Science Museum and all that. So you don't
I'm not a
try
creation
that.
scientist though. So
I'm not saying you are. I'm saying
I know, but you knowing
that's
that
where
is-
you're getting that. That's where you're
Okay,
getting
We
this
gotta move to the
information.
next one. Hold on, Alex. I want to give you a chance to answer the question, Alex. Namely, the which fossils, if any, do you believe are real? And then we've got to move on to the next question.
I believe some bones are real, but like, if you find some T-Rex skull, there's only 15 of them. Sue, I don't necessarily believe is real, in my opinion. And so each individual dinosaur, I don't know every single dinosaur. I don't have to. I just know that it's a fraud, and that how they present it to us is artistic interpretation.
Next up,
I don't know that X car sucks, but my friend told me that X car.
Gotta keep running, guys. I hate to do this to you. Forgive me. Blade Runner 0001 says, for the actual knowledge from Trevor, Alex, for the actual knowledge from Trevor, and then Alex, please stop. Okay, next. Let's see. Rodent, no last name, says, Alex, your argument would be more compelling if you wore a lab coat. Alex, can you start wearing a lab coat?
That's
Next
good.
up.
I'm ordering the lab
Don't
coat.
really.
I'm ordering the lab coat.
Wait,
And
that reminds me. That's just like, I don't know if
Kent
anybody
Hovind.
Kent Hovind, Alex's dad, actually
does
wears
he wear
a
a
lab
lab coat?
Yeah, he does in his stream. So next up, JV Russell.
I should wear a lab coat on here whenever I do medical misinformation stuff. I should wear a lab coat. I might start doing that. I might go out and grab one. Do I have a lab coat? I don't think I do.
Says Godspeed, and Standalone says for Trevor, and Malag Haksa says all power to Trevor, and Brandon Arteline says, James, did you screen these chat participants? That's just an old inside joke from Darth Dawkins, who used to ask me that. Let's see. Then let me just be sure that I've got every question. So I want to say thanks so much, folks. That GoFundMe for Trevor is in the live chat. And so it's pinned at the very top. And I highly encourage you to.
All right. I think that's all the questions. It's late. And we got to get to bed so we can be in the Bubba Army chat in the morning. But yeah, this was fun, guys. This is Alex Stein has plenty of these old debates on Modern Day Debates, and they're pretty funny. He just goes on there and fucking trolls these people. But apparently he actually brings some facts too, which is scary. We just found out tonight that they faked dinosaur fossils with paint. I wasn't expecting to learn that tonight. I really wasn't. So anyway, this has been Dark Times with Dark Match Steve. I hope you enjoyed this edging session. You may now finish. You may now release. Okay? You've been good. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. We've got, okay. So I would like to catch up on news stuff. There's plenty, but I kind of don't feel like it. I kind of just want to do something else fun tomorrow. We can watch something. We can watch something interesting. Now, this is something that got brought up on the Bubba Show, and I found a copy of this documentary online, and so we might be able to watch it without getting in trouble. But guys, I need you, if you're watching and at all interested in keeping up with my show, I need you guys to go follow my Rumble page. Okay, because we may be getting into some weird territory tomorrow night and just generally in the future. Unfortunately, guys, there's some stuff that we can't talk about on here. The thing I'm going to cover tomorrow night, we might be okay. I don't know if I'm going to get thrown off for it. I kind of don't think so. But I don't know. We might be okay. I know some places have rules about giving out medical advice and stuff. And so I'm just, please go follow me on the Rumble page just in case. I don't think tomorrow, whatever I cover is going to, get my whole channel taken down. But, anyway, It should be a good time, though. It should be interesting, guys. So this is a documentary that I've heard brought up on the Bubba Show multiple times, and it's something that Dr. Dan is aware of, something that he has watched and found to be very intriguing. I'll put it that way. So we will probably be getting into that tomorrow, unless there's some breaking news stuff that I kind of have to cover, or maybe even something that happens on Bubba's show. I don't know, whatever. But that's kind of what we have planned for tomorrow night. So I'm telling you, this is an interesting documentary that people, I've heard it brought up a bunch of times, and I've never tried to find it myself, even though it's something that's right up my alley. It's one of those things that just went over my head, and I never went to fetch it. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging with us. FaZe Cop, Sniz, Dark Match Gene, all you guys still in here. Donald Ferguson, fucking Scott Starbird. Thank you, bro, for hanging with me. Dutch Duke is still up in here. Thank you guys for all the support. If you do want to throw a few dollars my way, you can at PayPal. I'm Darkmatch, DarkMatch. And on Venmo, Darkmatch Steve, DarkMatchSteve. Again, that is not a requirement. I have a fucking job. I worked my ass off today. I had a long ass day today. But yeah, that's just a little extra support because streaming is not free. I say it every night, guys. It ain't free. But yeah, that is not a requirement. You must at least hit the like button. If you don't hit the like button, that is bad internet karma. You don't want that. It's basically like breaking a mirror and walking under a virtual ladder. All right, lovers. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I should be on a little bit earlier tomorrow night, hopefully, if I'm not too late at work, so we can get through this documentary by like 9 something and get out of here. Go get our dicks wet. So I love you guys. Thanks for hanging with me. This has been Dark Times with Dark Match Steve, your own little personal slut. I'll see you tomorrow, lovers. Mwah. I'm a dinosaur. Ah.